flexible.
Very flexible.
Very flexible, as always.
Kia ora tātou, tēnā koro, katoa. Olavanaka, malo aleli, talofa lava, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, maori, kia ora orania. I really enjoy that because it really gives the breadth of our district and what we represent, and that makes me excited. When I go around the clubs, that's one of the slides I really enjoy presenting and talking about. So I better not take up much of the 15 minutes, but today it's an important time in the factor that we need our clubs to endorse the accounts of DG or immediate past District Governor Steve Cheney and his expenditure during that year as part of RI obligations. And that has been presented and distributed to the clubs. And so what we're going to do is, first of all, reflect the minutes of the AGM that was held on the 10th of October, 2021, and make sure that they are endorsed and agreed upon. Is there any points that are arising from those minutes? I take them as read. I can't see everyone, Edith, so speak up if you have a point. Nothing. So could we have someone who would nominate that minutes as being true and correct? And a seconder, please. Thanks, Craig. Thanks, past District Governor Steve. So then we will go over to the receipt of the financial statements of the year, and you would have got your annual report that was issued to you by Kirsten Hawke. I'm going now to invite the chair of the Finance and Administration team, Alan Ives, to give a short review of that report. Alan, over to you.
Thank you, DG Allen. Well, that introduction timed perfectly because I'm having a connection issue where I'm calling in from, and I just literally got readmitted at that point. So the financial statements for the year ended 30th of June 2022 have been circulated together with the audit report. There have been no questions come forward ahead of the meeting. So just one or 2 points that we'll cover on. So this report is focused on the year just concluded and the District Governor's accounts for DG Steve Cheney. In addition, there is consolidated information on the various committees as well. So a couple of points I would make is, firstly, we know that the year, unfortunately, was severely disrupted for the district and for Steve and his activities as district governor, and so that has impacted on the finances. The funding that we were allocated from Rotary International has specific rules applied to it, and not all of that funding was spent, and so money was refunded to RI in July. The net surplus.
Yes, baby. What do you mean?
We ended the year with. Hello, it sounds like we got a bit of interference there. Can you still hear me? Hello.
Yeah, we've covered that off, Alan. Carry on.
Okay, thank you. So, in terms of the District Governor's account, ended the year with a surplus of $21,564. And those that were part of the budget presentation for DG Allen earlier in the year were aware of some of the discussion around that and the good use that money is being used for this year. Of the other committees, the most significant one in terms of financial side of things was Ryla Limited, which had a surplus of around $14,000. So we ended the year with a net surplus of $36,500. So there were no other particular points that I wanted to raise on the finances. I note that both myself and our finance officer, Glynis, and the chair of our audit committee, Anne, are on this call and happy to take any questions and comments either on the call or to deal with those offline. So having said that, to move the formalities forward, that I would like to move that the financial statements for the district for Rotary year 21-22 be received. If there was a seconder for that.
Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Craig. Past District Governor Craig Horrocks, seconder. Any matters or comments arising from the report that wish to be discussed? I would just like to make one point, and it's a very positive one. As a result of the unfortunate circumstances Craig and Steve were in terms of COVID, we do have a surplus that we were able to transfer across to new initiatives. As a result of that, we're now seeing investment into Rotary within the district. And I highlight that in Pago Pago, we've had 5 new Interact clubs that have been formed and established, which is fantastic. And it was going to be December the 9th, but on the it's going to be December the 14th, we will be chartering a new club called the Rotary Club of Counties Manukau, which will be chartered, and past district governors obviously will be getting an invite to that chartering event as well. So that's pretty exciting. And we're working on other clubs in the near future, and our membership is still growing. So those funds are certainly giving us an emphasis to support new clubs as they develop. Thank you.
So if I can just finish the financial side then by also moving that the review report of the Internal Audit Committee dated 20th of October 2022 relating to the financial statements for the Rotary year 21-22 be received, and moving that, I note again that Anne Todd, the chair of that committee, is online if there are any questions for Anne or any comments. So if there's a seconder for that motion, please.
Craig has offered to second that motion. Alan?
Looks like no questions. If you'd like to...
No questions.
I'd like to put that motion, Alan, please.
Yeah, so it's a motion is to be the receipt of the review report of the Internal Audit Committee be accepted by this group as a whole and endorsed. Anyone against? So the motion is carried. And then the last point of the AGM is the appointment of the Internal Audit Committee for 22-23. Alan?
Yes, so we're very fortunate to have the services of Anne, assisted by Claire Lucas from St John's Club, and Jenny Herring from Rotary Club of Otahu. So I'd have pleasure in moving that the Internal Audit Committee be thanked for their work relating to the 2021-22 financial year, and on Anne Todd as chair, Claire Lucas and Jenny Herring be reappointed for the 2022-2023 year. Is there a seconder, please?
Craig has jumped into the gun again. And seconded. So I'd like to put that to the group in terms of the appointment of those 3 members. I'd like to acknowledge Anne as well and the work that she has done over the last 12 months in implementing the new process of audit and producing a fantastic report for us with her team. So anyone other comments? So that appointments will be agreed and moved forward.
Yep.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you, Alan. So the only other thing I'd like to just record is my personal thanks and the thanks of the district for the work that Glynis Carter does and has done in putting together all these financial reports.
Okay, that's the end of the AGM.
Thank
That's
you.
all the matters that we needed to cover. Was there anything else needed to be covered, Alan, from your perspective?
Nothing from my perspective, thank you.
That's all. So I declare the AGM closed, and it was within 15 minutes. So I was quite happy.
13:15 recorded in the chat, which will be a legal and binding document, and it'll be something that we will carry on for the next consecutive years. And I'd just like to thank, on behalf of the LED committee, our president-select and our district officers that are on this call. Thank you very much, Alan, and your team for keeping us on the straight and narrow, and more importantly, make sure that immediate past district governor didn't stray in his trips, although he has to answer to me on that. We will go carry on with our PEDS hui, and we wish everyone in the Finance, Audit and Risk Committee a lovely afternoon, or you are most welcome to stay.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us. See you later.
Thank you all. Bye.
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 Ole.
Sarah Maya, you're not going, you're a president-elect.
Oh.
We need to have you for the next 4 hours. So we would love to have you back on board. Okay, just some facts for the rest of the afternoon. How many of us got up and watched the Samoan final this morning, men's? Whilst it was a disappointment, the winner on the day was Samoa. Final 30 Australia, 10 Samoa. Women's rugby league final, again, New Zealand Women's Rugby League, Australia 54, New Zealand 4, All Blacks Northern Tour final match, 25 all. 3 tries in the last 10 minutes. Do we not know where that's come from? Do we not recognise how that happens? But the piece de resistance is our Black Ferns, the rugby world champions, for the 6th time, won last weekend. So homai te paki paki to all of those countries and all of those sports legends. Okay, and on to the next part of the afternoon, whānau. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our district governor-elect, Vanita Nan, 2023-24 year. She's a 4th generation Indo-Fijian and comes from the town of Naisuni. Vanita's career spans 39 years working for the Bank of Baroda and Air Pacific, now VG Airways, and for 26 years at the British High Commission, where she was the head of political communications for several years. Vanita joined Rotary in 2004 and was club president in 2015-16. She was one of 2 assistant governors in Fiji from 2018 and area governor Fiji 2020. We would like to acknowledge the sudden passing of Vanita's beloved husband, Naindra, also from Fiji earlier this year. Moi mai, moi mai, moi mai rā, e te rangatira. She looks forward to her DG role to form closer associations, friendships with Rotarians within the district, the zone, and the wider Rotary International whānau. Please join with me in welcoming DGE Vanita Nan. I think, Craig, we may need to pull up the Vanita's PowerPoint, please.
Vanita, you're muted.
So sorry, so sorry. Thank you very much, Edith, for that.
You're on mute, Craig.
Have we got this PowerPoint on? Not yet.
Not quite. Not
Uh,
quite.
Not quite.
Here we go. Beautiful.
Right.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you. Welcome, everybody, to the President-elect Development Seminar 2022. Bula vinaka, kia ora, malo, mauri, talofa lava, maloelele, namaste. It's a pleasure to have you all here today. I acknowledge the past district governors, district officials, the area governors, and of course, the president-elects and any other club officials that may be joining us today. I wanted to first just lay out why we are doing PEDS now in November. There's still a lot more time before your year comes up, but this really is so that it gives you enough time to acquaint yourselves with the zone, the district, your clubs, the other clubs around you, and the Rotarians. This allows you 6 months to prepare for your role. For the district, for the presidents that are coming in, it may seem like it's a very long time, but believe me, the time goes very quickly. Please acquaint yourselves with which zone you belong to. What is your club number? What districts do we belong to? Know how you know your members, plus also the Rotarians. Your AGs are very important as well. In this 6 months, as you prepare for your role, the first thing to look into is appointing your board. We keep stressing about it. There are times when this hasn't happened and we realize then it's a bit too late when you appoint your people very late into the year or when you have started your role and you're not able to then lean on these people and you get a lot of work on yourself. So please, I would urge you, appoint your board, get your people together, work with them, get your objectives out of the way, and then your year will be very easy. I'm not going to go into details as we go through the slides because the program covers this in a lot of detail. So I will just speak about the outlines. Craig, second slide, please. Thank you. So this is really for the first-time PEs. I'm not trying to speak to the converted here, the president-elects who have done this work prior to the coming year. This is really for those presidents who are the first-time presidents. You really need to know your details about Rotary. Edith will go more into where you can get your resources, so I will not go into that, but please read up, log yourself onto Rotary International, look out where your club is, go into the details. At every point, there will be times when you will be asked for your club numbers, you will be asked what's your district. Now with the redistricting going on, with the regionalization going on, there'll be a lot of work that will be done as a zone. So familiarize yourselves with the zone. We are part of Zone 8, and this is all the clubs in Oceania, including Australia and New Zealand and the Pacific Island countries. So please have a look at which clubs belong to the zone. And the other thing within your club is also to look at your social media, which is very important. Communication, I think, is a key when you are the president. And you need to know how to reach out to your club members and to reach out to the friends of Rotary and to the members of the community. So do familiarize yourself with your social media, speak to your past presidents, your board. Do know which social media you have. If you are not familiar with using it, this is the time to try and learn, get your access codes in, have a look at it, and try and then formulate what you would like to go ahead with, what you'd like to carry on with, how you would like to change anything, if at all. Your club would have a website. If it doesn't have one, maybe you'd like to look at having one. And The other point is your club's unique selling point. So you need to know your club's USP. You need to know why your club exists, why you are there, what it is doing. This would be really important for you to start preparing. Unless you have this information, it is very hard to start the work that you will be doing come July the 1st. So please, I would urge you, take note of these details and get to know the websites or the details that you'll be required during your year. Thank you, Craig. The most important people, I believe, is your club members. We are working with our club members. We need to know, as you start your year as the president, you need to know about your club quite well. You know, some of us have been there for a while. Some of us are, this is why I was saying we're looking at president-elects who are coming for the first time. There are clubs that have their presidents coming in very early when they have joined Rotary. And it's a huge learning curve for them. So really, I'm addressing those president-elects at the moment that may not have been in the club for very long or may not have been playing an active role in the board. So look at your club members, speak to your club members from now. Don't start at the very late, you know, come June or July, start now, start speaking to your club members, see if they are happy, see if you'd like to change anything. If the club is doing really well, how would you then just add to it? But if there's certain things that are not working, speak to them. Think about attracting new members. This is very important for Rotary. I think in Alan's year and in my year and in going into Vidya's year, I think we'll all be looking very closely at bringing in new members because that's what Rotary is all about. The more people we have, the lighter the load is, the more you know, we do for Rotary International as a whole. So think about how you would attract new members. While we are attracting new members, we want to find out if our club embraces diversity, equity, and inclusion. Are we leaving somebody behind? Are we doing ourselves a favor by leaving people behind? Or, you know, we will be better together if we embrace DEI and we work together. So have a think about it. Edith will go more into it during the program as to where we can get the resources, where we can training about it. But this is just something that is very important to Rotary now, and let's embrace it. Thank you. Networking and building relationships. I'm sure you all by now would have been familiar with your AGs. Your AGs have the responsibility to be your guide within the cluster. So they are your first point of contact. Get to know them, build a relationship with them, and the clubs that are within your cluster. So if you have done that, I think you have crossed the first hurdle. Your sister clubs or your cluster club presidents are important because we come from a similar grouping. We have you know, each other's backs, and you know, some of the AGs, they have been doing a really good work in getting the clusters.
Okay, we've got recording, but I'm not able to assign at the moment to all rooms. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't assign it to rooms, but I am on the chat group now.
Right.
So if everybody else is on, I can take notes for everybody for the discussions.
Okay, go you. Can you just get us into rooms, Craig, or not? Is this the issue?
It says that they're actually already assigned, but they're not. So I'm not quite sure what's. Is it on your assigned to rooms? Move to rooms.
Yeah, let's have a look. Breakout rooms 15. Close all rooms. Broadcast. Do you want me to try broadcast?
Yeah,
I don't know what there. I've got 15 unassigned on mine, and I've got broadcast and close all rooms. I don't want to close rooms.
No.
So we've got 41 participants in broadcast. Have you got that?
Yes, but the
Just try
instruction
broadcast.
to send to all rooms is
Broadcast. Is that it?
broadcast just sends a message to everybody.
Okay.
So
In progress, breakout rooms. One moment, callers. Talk amongst yourselves. Turn the kettle on.
yeah, the problem is it's got join, but if I've done that, it joins me into that particular room. It looks as though it's a host. Have you got it on your host list there?
Yeah, no, I've got exactly what you've got, Craig.
Oh, okay, rightio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not showing up on mine either.
No. Let me just, Kat, let me just go co-host for you. Spotlight, remove, record. No, yep. So I'm not sure how you've set it up. I've got breakouts, 16 broadcasts, close all rooms, 16 unassigned.
Well, the problem we've got them in the rooms, but if we close all the rooms, which we could do, then try and reopen them. I don't know, but I hope they'll keep all the assignments. That's the thing.
Let's try anything at this stage, Fano.
Yeah.
We're adaptable.
Just a quick one, if I can just jump in here. If everybody slides down to the bottom of your own screens, you'll see a note that says breakout rooms.
Right.
If you click on that individually, it'll show if we've been assigned or not. I've just tested it and I've jumped into one already and come back.
Okay, so you can just jump straight in because it was.
So we all do it ourselves.
Thank you. Great.
Here to steal. We need to be someone in the room. Have a talk amongst yourselves, Fano. This is a test.
Okay, so I've got Jane Stevens. I just haven't got that. I'll just get that list in front of me. Jane's not assigned to any room at the moment.
No, don't assign her, just leave her out. She's in panel.
Okay, Judy.
Okay, how are we going? The ones that are still looking at us, if you go down the bottom into breakout rooms. The 3 dots, breakout rooms, and assign yourself. Beautiful. We've got one more going. It's okay. Some of you are on.
We need more people for room 5. There's only 2 there right now.
Okay. Let's just get them in a room to check first. Kat, we have people going into rooms, and then at our break, we'll go through our breakout rooms. Okay, we've got Mushtag, we've got Ramita, Peter Paulson, you need to go into a room, Ramesh, Rachel Toka, Jane is with us. How are you going there, Helen? Halid? Can you find it? You're on mute, dear. Don't worry, don't panic, don't panic. Just unmute.
There we go.
There
Can you hear me now?
go. We can hear you now. Look, that's fine. I think these are our Apple people. Is that right, Keith? Are you an Apple? Yeah.
So
Yes.
Edith, can I just call the unassigned and you can tell me if there's anybody that should be still assigned? So there's Ingrid, Jane Stevens, John H.
John H is oh gosh. Let me have a look. One moment, please.
Yeah, back on now.
John Holland. So
Yes.
he should be in room 3.
Room 3. Yep.
Okay, assigned John Holland. Judy, no. Katrina, no. Karela,
Rotary, Fiji.
right, so room 5.
Yep, 5 or 6.
Yep,
I've got on my list here. Yep.
okay. So Manu, I thought I'd just assigned Manu to room 3. Okay.
Cemetery Central.
So
Keith is with Chris Beatty, room 1.
okay, I think I've got so the Rotary La Toca, is that to room 5?
Yeah, 5 or
Okay.
6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rotary Club of Tavanui, Taviuni.
Taviuni, there's the lovely Helene. That's another Fiji beautiful island.
Okay. And then Ramesh.
You might just appear off. Yep.
Okay. So I think that unassigned list is now down to, there's just 5 of us, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Manu's should be gone, and so should Keith. Just into a room anyway.
Yep.
Yep. And Keith.
Right. Yeah. Well, the unassigned list is Ingrid, Jane, Katrina, Simon, Ursula, and Vanita.
Yeah, Keith is still with us.
Okay. So
Hang on,
now,
put Keith in room 3 with the airport.
Room 3, Edith.
Keith,
Yeah,
Keith is
you're
in room 3.
Okay.
Yeah, just click on the link. I've done that.
How we
Okay.
going? Beautiful.
There's only one person in room 6, which is Judy.
Should I move her to 5?
Move it to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Makaraj, no, who's that one there? Ramesh, Nandi Rotary. So that's 5 or 6, is that right? Yeah.
Edith, where am I?
At the moment, you're with me, darling. You're with me.
Thank you, darling.
Yes.
But I can't find a room where the rooms are.
Yeah, you will be assigned to a room, but right now we're
Okay.
just having a play. We're just enjoying the afternoon. Hi, Simon. How are you? We're going to put you in one of those. I think we had Fijian room, one of the Fijian rooms.
Cool. No, I'm good. Good.
Cool. Isn't this great? All new learning for us. Love it.
Okay, so we've got 5 rooms. Edith, which room would you like me to join in?
I think I'd like you to stay right there, Kat, right now.
Okay.
Is there enough people? Keith is still with us. Not that that's a problem for me, but it may be a problem for him wanting to talk to President-elect.
I can see Lalita Rao.
We did have him in 3 because he's part of which group, which club are you, Keith? Auckland Airport.
Auckland Airport. Now I've got the jam board for breakout group 3 up.
Yeah, beautiful. You're going to be the scribe eventually.
I've clicked the link, but it's not taking me into the room.
Okay. Well, that's always interesting, isn't it? Oh, he's gone now. There we go.
Have I?
No, you're still here.
I'm still here. I clicked on group 3's link, but it didn't take me there. Still left me.
Okay, well, you can just talk to us. Have you been in the learning centre? This is going to be it. Look, we've got the whole district team here. Keith, have you been into the learning centre?
No, I haven't. No.
Wow.
I've,
We'd love to invite you into the Rotary.org Learning Centre. Have you got a login to Rotary.org?
Oh, yes, I have. Yep.
You have. Well, you utilise that beautiful login that may need to be updated, not sure, and it'll take you exactly to those learning modules. And you are going to click Club Leadership and President Basics.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'll resend the links and the thank you to this afternoon's session. But we know you're an educationalist and that you love learning. And so we invite you to to go into the space and learn at your own pace. All about self-learning.
Fine, yep, not a problem. I'll have plenty of time to do that. It will come the end of the year when I retire.
There you go. Even better, even better.
Yeah.
And Jane, are you with us?
Yeah, I am.
Hi,
Hello,
Jane.
everyone.
Voila, voila. How are you?
Voila. I'm good, thank you.
Now, just double check, just checking in. Are you linked to Rotary.org?
Yes, I am.
Beautiful. Have you been into the Learning Centre?
No, I have not.
Okay, so again, love to make you curious around going into that. I know Rotary has had some beautiful learning and development with Ingrid and Becky and others in this space, but here's an opportunity to do some self-learning. President Basics is a really nice way to actually segue into it. And again, at your own pace, it's actually what Rotaract wanting is more leadership opportunities, and these modules actually set us up really well in that space of leadership as you gain more knowledge. So yeah, get a little bit curious around that, help your members to get into that space, and then yeah, play around with it.
Edith, that broadcast which returns people, I don't have that on my screen any longer. Do you, in breakout rooms in progress, do you have that broadcast button? Because that returns everybody within 2 minutes. You're muted, Edith.
Close all rooms, is that it?
Have you got close all rooms? Yeah.
Well, that's
so
what
all right.
I've got. That's what I've got. Have you not got that?
Yeah, for some reason I don't have that, but anyway, that's good. As long as you can close the rooms, that's good.
Okay, I'm going to give them another minute or so, and then I'm going to close the close all rooms, and let's see if that brings us back after 1 minute, which we've set up.
Thank you.
All good stuff. Okay, I'm hearing immediate past district governor talking away. Should be the president's elect, not him.
Edith, do all of these learning center topics generally give certificates like when we did ours? Everyone gave us certificates in the end to show you have completed it properly.
Yeah, all the certificates, you have to actually do the certificate or the evaluation, Vidna, because that then is a record of your learning.
Yep,
and
good.
Then it closes it off that you've finished that. A lot of people don't do that and they wonder why, I did that. And you can put that in a file somewhere. It's just an electronic acknowledgement that you've actually done that program. And I get a report as part of the district. I don't actually do anything with it at this stage because we're all volunteers.
Kia ora, Edith.
Kia ora.
Just as a last emergency situation, potentially, I'm just at home alone with a little baby that's asleep.
Yep.
If by chance I hear screaming, I will have to just leave and you can just come straight in with the questions that you've already got.
Not a problem.
Is it cool?
I think
Okay,
it's called going with the flow.
Hopefully that's not going to happen. He's just gone to sleep, so
that's why we're here.
We're gunning for like, another 40 minutes.
Okay, let me try close all rooms, Whānau. It's always interesting when you have power like this. Close all rooms. I'm hoping I'm not going to close everyone out. Yes, 60 seconds. So it's close all rooms, Craig. We'll have a look at that once you've got your gin and tonic between
Yeah, it's I'm watching it. I don't know what's happened to the button, but it's telling me there's 42 seconds to go.
They're all coming back.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they will come back.
Yeah, Edith, our group, we thought we're well past 1:55, so our groups come back, group twos come back.
Okay, cool. Whatever's going to work this afternoon, Whānau, whatever's going to work. Did you have some good discussions though, David?
Yes, some great discussions. I think one of the first problems seems to be with two of the people in our group was that they can't get access to Club Runner. There's some mix-up that doesn't seem to be working properly. So that's obviously something that needs to be solved.
Okay, so let's work together. Kia ora te whānau, ka nui te mihi. E whai aki nei, here we are, all back again in the virtual room of PEDS 2022. Gosh, hasn't it been an interesting start to the PEDS session this afternoon? And thank you for your patience, and thank you for letting us all work through what we've had to do here as the district group leading our learning and development tools. So it is over 2 o'clock when we were starting the next part of the session. So I'm going to, because I have the power this afternoon, to delegate that we have got 10 minutes break time to 2:10. Do not go out of the meeting. Stay in there. All you need to do is put on your mute button and your video. Shut that down. Go make yourself a cup of tea and come back at 2:10. So it's 2:02, that's 8 minutes. Cup of tea, wine, gin and tonic, all of the above. And we'll see you back then. Kia ora. Well done, logged out. How you going, Yurika?
All right.
Is Ratu in the building? I haven't.
I have not seen him.
No. And just checking in with Bella from Otahuhu. I see her on screen, but I had an email that she wasn't back in.
I'm back in.
Oh, there you are, Bella. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, going to walk away and have a break, Whānau. Craig, Craig's gone to have a break. Good.
Group 5 couldn't do much discussion either, so they probably all talk at the same time. They took a while
Teresa,
coming
I didn't
in.
quite get that. Can you repeat that, Teresa?
Group 5 weren't able to finish off their discussion.
Okay.
So they will probably try and see what they can come into.
Pai tēnā, because we're a little bit behind time, I'm just pushing things through. So in regards to reporting back, if we can have just maybe some notes that our AGs take and just email those to me for that first session. And we'll go from there. Did the, for those that were in a room, did the link work for the, did the link work for our notes? Anyone that's still on board? Oh, thank you, Bella. Beautiful. Okay, you get the 5 stars. What about you, Erica? How did your group handle the link with the notes? If you save that, then it is automatically send that through to me at the end, and then I do a nice little synthesis of those notes. It's actually a really good tool.
Trying to find out where to press save. How do I save it? I thought it's automatic. No?
Yeah, I think it's automatic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, we did notes. We discussed. We had a good discussion.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go and get a cup of tea, but I'm coming back at 2:08. How you going, DGE Vanita? All right?
All good, thank you.
Cool. Okay. Peter, nice to see you.
Thank you. Yes, I'm starting to return to the normal world again. It's good to catch up with you all.
To see you, Peter.
I'm hoping the normal world is treating you well.
Oh yes, on the whole, we're not quite sure yet when finally we'll travel again, but probably in December. I've stayed away from going to Rotary meetings and stuff because we've been very careful about groups and things, because with the operation coming up, the last thing we wanted to do was either me or Olata to get COVID and then going to lose the place in the queue.
Right. Okay. Okay. So talk amongst yourselves. I'm off for a cup of tea.
Okay, thank you.
Benita, you can throw in some more ideas.
I can. I'm just trying to see how many people are online, or have they got to get their tea. I think most people are away at the moment from their chairs.
Craig looks much younger today.
Vidya. Such a diplomatic tongue. So I'm definitely feeling stressed. We a little tip for future. Edith and I worked on making sure all the breakout rooms were manually pre-assigned rather than randomly assigned. And we should have closed all the rooms, but the problem with manually assigning people to rooms, they've got to actually go and join. So if you automatically assign, then no one needs to actually join. So that's that's something which we got caught out by being prepared.
Happens.
Didn't realize, and I watched the video and it didn't tell me that, so I feel cheated. But anyway,
it's good to see a big group, though.
Yeah.
Craig.
Yes.
Hi. Just for the panel, are you going to be freezing the people's panes?
Am I going to be muting them, or
no, just like the people that I'm interviewing? Do you know how to what's it called? Is it called freezing them, or putting the spotlight on them? I think it's called.
Oh, the spotlight.
Yeah, it's spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Edith was going to do the spotlighting.
Oh, okay. All good.
So I haven't had spotlighting 101. So if someone's,
I think if you're host, from memory, I'm pretty sure you can just literally right click onto the individual people, and there should be
okay. I'll try rotation instead. Sorry about that. Bye.
Okay.
Oh, I've got a baby that's just woken up, so hang on, I've got to.
Okay.
Well, Edith's back. Maybe we can ask her. Will you be putting spotlight on the four panel speakers?
Yeah, I think as hosts, we can just right mouse and on that speaker. So if I did, I'm just going to do Craig. No, rename, chat, mute, report. That's not useful, is it?
That's under more. You should have spotlight.
I've got polls, breakout, everything but spotlight.
So who do we want to spotlight in
I think each individual speaker, but it should come up on speaking anyway. So see how this is automatically when we speak, it comes up.
Yeah.
What will happen if Ursula is, this becomes a little, what's the word? What have I done? View?
No, I did spotlight for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
What we might do that if this is becomes difficult for Ursula now as we're coming back in, we'll go straight to your session and then we'll just keep going back and back until we can get the panelists. Panelists, I hope that's going to work for you this afternoon. We just have to be flexible with mothers and babies. And we can do this. So I'm wondering if we go, do you want to carry on, Ursula, or do you want us to go to the next part?
Look, I think I'll be okay to carry on. If he gets too noisy, I might mute myself and I'll get you to just ask the questions. How does that sound?
Yep, I'll have to bring up the questions, actually. I haven't got that here. Remove spotlight. What's that there for? Not sure what that is.
You want me to remove spotlight? This brings
no. Let me just go to Ursula's. Okay, let me just do this.
I think it should be okay. He's fairly chill right now, so.
Yep, I've just brought those up on my monitor though, just in case. Okay, whānau, welcome back to the second part workshop of PEDS 2022. And we're going to now hand over to Ursula Bach, who is the facilitator for our panel of first-time presidents. Thank you, Ursula.
Thank you, Edith. Kia ora koutou. It is my pleasure to be heading this panel today as we talk to some wonderful people who have had their first experience as presidents. And I'm really hoping that this will be a nice way for us to hear about that in a really honest kind of a way, and useful for all of you. So thank you to all of you for joining us today in the training. So to get started, I'd like for our panelists to introduce themselves, starting with Manu Singh. Are you there, Manu? Might be on mute. No, okay. Well, we can go to Simon Gock. I know you're online. So.
Hey guys, Simon Cook here. I'm from the I'm third year Rotarian, president of the Rotary Club of Auckland East. I'm also the national ICT for district as well from 9920. Very nice meeting you all.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. And Kate, I know you're also online. Kat, sorry.
Hi, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm Katrina Mariner. I'm the president of the Rotary Club of Pago Pago. I live in American Samoa. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I've been in Rotary for about 4 years now, and I started off as secretary. I've also served as club services chair and vice president last year, and currently the president this year, and just loving it.
Great. Jane Stevens.
Bulvinaka, everyone. My name is Jane Stevens, and I am the current president for the Rotary Club of Suva, and I'm also the district Rotary representative for 9920. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. So I'll just go back to see if Manu's there and able to introduce himself. No. Edith, any update on Manu?
Raj, I'm wondering if you can get in touch with Manu and invite him back into the space. Kia ora.
I'll try doing that now.
All right. Okay, so thank you all for introducing yourselves. It's lovely to have a range from Rotaract, Rotary. Just to begin with, I'd like you to tell me 3 words that you would use to describe your experience as president. let's go with Kat. You're the first on my screen here.
Sure. So for me, I would go with commitment, service, and integrity.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anyone in those particular that you'd like to expand on?
Yep, sure. So with commitment, it's just just making sure that the club is like, and projects and everything, that there's commitment and emphasis on pushing projects forward, and just encouraging members to get involved. It's not just a commitment from the president, but it's a commitment from the whole team. So I'm very lucky to come in as president and have a great team to work with. And we also have very supportive members as well. And in terms of service, like with Rotary, it's always, service above self. So it's putting first the community, and, I just identifying areas that needs help, and, organizing service projects that can address those needs in our community. And then with integrity, just abiding by the 4-way test and doing everything with that.
Awesome. Thank you. Simon, what about you? I'd like to hear from you.
My 3 words would be growth, opportunity, and legacy. This year has certainly been a big personal growth for me. So I chose the word growth. Opportunity, because when you have that title as president bestowed on you, it's a responsibility that, we go out there and do what we can, and finding opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities out there to do some great things. So I that's why I chose the word opportunity. Lastly, I chose as legacy, and that's more so of whatever it is that you do this year. Think about what you want to leave behind. What's some of the impacts you like, positive impacts that you like in the community, but not just the community, but also your members too. When they look back to that year, they go, wow, that was a fantastic year. I was able to achieve this and do that. And for some of the older people here, they can be growled up, very proud grandfathers or grandmothers, or even fathers and mothers. So yeah, that's why I chose those 3 words. And yeah, it's about for me, this year has been finding in ways to have that legacy for my year.
I love that. That's a really cool thing to think about. I'd like to ask Jane, your 3 words, what would they be?
My 3 words would be grateful, diversity, and my theme, giving back. I know that becomes like 2 words, but still.
Yeah, lovely. Anyone in particular that has kind of seen you through?
Yes, definitely diversity. And this has brought a lot of new members into my group, and I feel like they feel more welcome now than ever. And my group's ever-growing group, like we're on to 60 members now, compared to something that we went through during COVID. We lost a lot of members, but hey, we gained more along the way.
Awesome. Now, Manu, I'd like you to just introduce yourself as well. Saying who you are, your club, and your experience in Rotary, and then just your 3 words that you would use to describe your year.
Thanks, Ursula. She has already introduced me. My name is Manu Singh. I'm a president of Rotary Club Upper Central, very vibrant club with the blessings of all of you. And I can see that Vinita Nand and Vidyan and Edith, thank you very much, and Craig. And thanks for your support. See, I was very blessed, and then to be an honor to be a president of a very vibrant club of professionals. We have been doing a lot of projects, engagement, and all these things. But I've been nearly 5 months now. And then what I would say in 3 words that I would say little over 3 words. First thing, engagement is very important. Engagement of the members are very important, because sometimes what we do, when we start something, we do not engage, or we overlook to engage everyone. Everyone in a team is important, and everyone has to be engaged. This is how they feel valuable. And second thing, learning. See, learning opportunity we have every day, everywhere. Since I was as other roles in a Rotary, I've been learning in different way. But now as a president, I'm learning more refined way of learning, handling different personalities, different situations, delegating jobs, and organizing everything by keeping everyone happy. And third thing, our ultimate motive and goal is to help and service people. Is very important to how we see. One thing I would say that, a lot of in our club, I'm talking about our club. Our club has got a lot of professionals, like most of the working people in good positions. They have a lot of ideas, they have experience, expertise, but they're quite busy. Sometimes implementation is the issue. A lot of plannings, but implementation is like we have to a little struggle. But at this stage, we are able to manage, very, very good ratio and planning and implementation. But it's very important that we don't forget that how we implement, and then our resources and our service reach to the real needy people.
Wonderful. Thank you, Manu. Okay, so my next question to you all, we all have, just excuse the baby there, we all have expectations on how things are going to go, but I was wondering what surprised you about how your role has been in this time. So I think maybe I'll go to Katrina for the first one. I think you've mentioned something about leadership, pushing and interact. If you could talk some on that.
Yeah, thanks, Ursula, for the question. So like for me, just coming into the role, something that surprised me was the immense support that I had from all the membership, and especially like our avenues of service chairs. Sometimes as a president, like, you put out your goals and what it is that you intend for your year, and can be challenging to have people like, work with you to push it forward. But I haven't had that problem. We've just been on the go since I came on board, and it's just been great. We have a great youth service chairs. They've been pushing to get more interact clubs involved. So we've just inducted 5 new clubs, which was awesome. And it just involved like a lot of people with, their feet on the ground, like going to schools, talking about interact, what Rotary does, what our goals were. And it's having those kind of people, as well as our club services and community services. We just have so many enthusiastic chairs that are just willing to be out there in the community and out there in front of people, just talking about Rotary, talking about what our club does, and just going from there. So it's been great. I'm sorry, Ursula, you muted.
Sorry. Awesome to hear. It sounds like you had lots of great support, which is, really cool. I'm wondering, Jane, you also talked a bit about membership, if you could speak on that too.
Yeah, so my Evergreen Club. We're just on the move. Well, one thing different from us is that I've gotten my group to be more involved with Rotary clubs here in Fiji. So we've attended events and we go in numbers. So that's what I'm trying to put through. Events, meetings, anything like that, projects we can help with, just to put our ever so green club, get them more involved. So.
Wonderful. Now, before I move to the next question, either of the other two of you wanted to say anything on that one, or something that surprised you for your year? That's cool. I can move to the next one. So, obviously we are interested in your learning, and that's why we're all here. So what Edith and I were interested in particularly is, where did you lean the most on in terms of the things that have been helpful in preparing you for your year? I might turn to you, Simon, for that one.
Sure. I've got 4 points here, and I think the core part of these 4 points is understanding kind of what the year could look like, and also what other presidents have done, and talking about different strategies that could be implemented to make your year easier. So I want to provide you all with 4 points. The first one is that you aren't alone. So really sink that in. You aren't alone. Delegate and rely on your board, because that's that's your insurance, that's your safety net. So in my particular case where I had long COVID, my board said, Simon, take care of yourself. Your health is important. The board will keep the place running. And that was really good because I was able to focus on myself, get better. And when I was ready, I'd jump back into the club and just get things going. So that's the first point. You aren't alone. The second point that I have is listen. So don't come up with solutions without problems. Start by listening to your community, and then you'll find worthwhile projects. So for example, for our club, we went to go talk to our school, Tamaki College, and we found that there were some refugees, Muslim people that are from Afghanistan, Iraq, Palestine, and we're going there and we're finding projects that we can help them with. And just because of that, we've connected with some Islamic trusts and connecting with people, which does go to my third point, and that was to collaborate. And that's finding other clubs or organizations that have the same goal as you. So, we're doing things with our cluster clubs. We're connecting with Remera, St. John's, who is an absolutely amazing club, Ellerslie, Harbourside, and also Rotaract Auckland. So we're connecting up, finding things that, the challenges that they're having and learning off them. So do collaborate, which is a very, very important point. And then last point I would say of understanding is, and this gets said all the time, is to look after your members. I can't stress that enough. Do take care of your members. But not only that, I found it really useful to try and pick and understand what your members' spark is. And what I mean by that is when we went to Tamaki College and I brought one of our members, he got very excited about STEM sciences because he was a lecturer. And just off that, he's engaging with the school a lot more. And I could see that every time he talks about it, he's just happy. And nothing makes me more prouder than seeing our members going out there with that spark, with that passion. So when you do find those members spark, that will just really drive through the year, and you'll start achieving amazing things that you wouldn't have thought of. So those are some of the learnings that I've been leaning on to most for my year. And it's been pretty successful, not just from changes that we're in, things we're doing in the community, but there's a membership boost as well from our previous year, which is fantastic. Yeah, these are the things that I find very helpful, and I do hope that these lessons can help you all on your year as well.
Awesome, that's great. Thank you, Simon. Those are some really great points. I'm sure people will take away from those. Oh, that's all good, Jane. Just got your message. Jane, actually, what about you in terms of things that might have helped you prepare for your year? I'm also sort of thinking about things like the resource centre, these particular online courses, or maybe just your club. Are you able to comment on that?
Well, for me, all I did was just it's my 5th year with the club, so all I did was just I learned from all the past presidents. I worked closely with them, and wherever I could, I would attend whatever causes there were. Yeah, I just took part in everything and just tried to learn, and then I would come back and then share whatever I've learned to my members. So yeah.
Yeah, so kind of like immerse yourself in all that there is to offer, really, from Rotary, sounds like.
Yes.
Okay, and so my next question, I guess I was wondering about any particular challenges that you've had in your year. And these could be just within Rotary, but for you personally within the role, I was kind of interested in that. I'm wondering, Manu, if we could go to you for that one. I know you sort of spoke about some challenges that you had in the role around people having different agendas. I was wondering if you could talk a bit more on that. Are you there, Manu? Oh, yeah, great.
Hi, Ursula. Thank you. Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, challenges. I mean, when you expect something doesn't happen, and then you have to find a ways to do it, keeping everyone happy, and more bigger club, more members, more more projects, more issues. So it's I think it's a more kind of personality. Do either my way or no way. You will find I mean personally I had I mean I have experienced that but most of the people they understand ultimately we came to a consensus and conclusion that we have to work together, but it happened a few times, and then especially when they're the senior people, those who have been in control for some times, and then suddenly someone they thought they appeared, and then they want to do things more systematic way, new ways. Everything should be formalized, engagement and transparency, and then they think that they need to be consulted on every I mean, that I think that's personality, because they never been in that situation, and then someone they're not ready to listen to someone, then they always been giving an instruction, not taking an instruction.
Yeah, well, I think that happens in older clubs, right? Where people were kind of stabilized in their role, and
Yeah.
flexibility is a little harder sometimes.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. It sounds like, yeah, I think that would be a common challenge, to be honest.
Common challenge. I mean, and especially like I think that's the biggest challenge when it is a growing club, in a growth. And then if you want to do, I mean, we have done around 14 projects in nearly 5 months time. So there's a lot of activities was going, and then a lot of engagement, a lot of activities, a lot of meetings were going on. And but the more we do it, and the more we learn it, more we solve the problems. And then ultimately what happens when you're doing right things, and majority of the members, they are with you, and then they want to do the things. They want to be part of the good cause.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I can kind of hear how you did end up negotiating those challenges through sort of making sure you're connecting with people, and I guess to sort of I've got just two last points, if that's all right, Edith, to ask. And I'd just like to so one of the things I was interested in, because we know that you guys get a lot of preparation through Rotary online, but we also recognize that you're bringing so much of yourselves to the role as well, and maybe from external experiences, your qualities and your skills. Recording in progress. I'll just get you guys to put yourself on mute, when you're not talking. Thank you. So with regards to that, Jane, you had mentioned to me a skill or a quality that was valuable for you around freedom of speech. I was wondering if you could speak to that.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of that, this is where we have a fortnightly meeting, floor meeting. So what I've done is at the end of the meeting or during the meeting, I always open the floor to my members to speak out, like, hey, even if it's to tell me that I'm doing something wrong, or they'd like something, to be changed, or they'd like, the dates of meetings to be changed, like things like that, they're they're open to tell me what they would like, stuff like that, suggest projects and, all other matters. So that's where I give the floor to them to tell us what they think.
Yeah.
So that's the freedom of speech that I mentioned.
Yeah, as a personal quality that you have, that kind of openness.
Because and I think one of the question was, how you had asked how you negotiated those challenges. And I think the main thing is communication. Like that's where that comes in, where you speak and allow the other person to speak as well.
absolutely. And Simon also that being really important, that kind of sense of listening, but also collaboration. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so to wind up, lastly, I'd like to ask for each of you to just give a really brief statement for all of our incoming presidents, maybe just some words of advice or things that perhaps you wish you had known beforehand. Starting with you, maybe Kat.
Sure. I would encourage our incoming presidents to just keep it positive, just be optimistic, and also encourage all members to join a committee for like the service. Like, you know, it really helps to keep that connection going, and it helps to get everybody involved. That will be my input.
Thank you. And you, Simon.
Well, I said quite a bit before, but I think it's worth reiterating to listen. The community needs us now more than ever. So finding what is needed and connect with those that can help. Don't try and do everything as well. That's one thing I wish I learned earlier on. I did a lot, but then when I started leaning on the board, having a great team really helped. So that is a really, really important point. And yeah, just looking after your members and finding their spark, that goes a really long way as well. I find that if I gave myself those advice when I started off, yeah, I wish I knew those lessons way earlier.
Cool, thank you. Manu, from you as well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. See, for me, like most important part is like for a future is engagement is very important. Engagement and and a learning is very important. And then because we have got tons of experienced people in our group, in our organization, expertise. We have a lot to learn, and this I think keep following them, follow the procedure, and then keep learning.
Thank you. And lastly, Jane.
Yay. So I'd just like to wish all incoming presidents, president-elects, if there's something I would like to share with them is that personal growth requires giving back. And this just reminds us that we're part of a larger group and we all need help. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all so much for being a part of this panel today. I really appreciate all your experience and the wonderful words that you're able to offer to all the participants today. So thank you very much. I'm going to hand it back over to Edith to introduce the breakout sessions. I hope that you've all got something that you can take away from this session. Thank you.
Kia ora, Ursula, and just like to reiterate our thanks to our first-time presidents that are in the house this afternoon. Pearls of wisdom, as always, and wonderfully facilitated by, this is our new normal, whānau, our multitasking. This is what Rotary is all about. Service above self, but more importantly, being flexible enough to accommodate all of our members in our diverse and equitable space that we know Rotary District 9920 actually opens their arms to. So Ursula, my hat off to you.
Thank you.
As a mum, handling the baby beautifully and facilitating the session. Let's hormo te paki paki, everyone. Well done. We're going to go into breakout groups. My right-hand person, can we go back to the gallery view? And I have got in the chat the link for our Jamboard. Can our facilitators take note of that? Tell me that everyone has got that. Thumbs up, no thumbs up. Beautiful, thanks everyone.
Same Jamboards.
Yep. And we are going to go in at 2:49. We're going to go in for 10 minutes. And then we're going to come back in. And again, I'm going to have to give you a break because we're going slowly, slightly over time again. But kei te pai tēnā, we're all here. I'll ask everyone if they would like to also, go a little bit longer, but it's really making sure everyone is feeling good in at the pace of our sessions. And I'm going to hand it over to you, Craig, into breakout groups. Thank we can probably put Manu into a room now. He could go maybe with his Toi Toi whānau, which is room. One moment, please. Oh, 2, room 2, Raj.
Right. Okay.
Fantastic.
This worked well.
Well done. Let's have a look at baby. If we can only see like the forehead.
I know. Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Potential interact, resurrect, and Rotarian of the future.
Look at the smile. Look at the smile.
Looking at you all.
And you wanted me to sleep, Mum. Hey.
Just as we were about to start, he starts crying. So yeah, that's just
right on cue. Right on cue. Thanks, Kat. Is my chat not coming up to everybody? No. Okay, right, because I didn't send to everybody. Duh. Okay. So that's the second one.
Yeah, group 2 is on there, the link, so everybody can click on that.
Yeah, thank you. How are they handling that jam board? I might have to go for, no, I'm not going to go for a little wiki. I'm just going to have a cup of tea.
Super awesome.
They're going well. They're going well.
Yeah. That was a crazy situation because when we'd set up all the rooms and we'd left them open, we couldn't actually automatically assign people to the rooms because they're already there. But they manually got in, and then we could close them, and now we can automatically assign them. So go figure. So the
we did it. Look, that's what we do.
Yeah. So it's all properly set up. That was the one tip that John probably didn't hand over to us. He wanted to keep some secret from us.
Bless his cotton socks. Bless his cotton socks. But hey, look at this. Look, this is us. And you know, you just smile and carry on.
Yep.
Because what can you do? But
this is true. This is true. So
this is a real learning around all of our whānau that give it a go. You know. Rather than don't do anything new.
That is true.
However, I get a nice vibe off the screen. I'm getting a nice sort of vibe from the groups. So that's a positive. And poor Jane had chicken pox, which is why she was not on screen.
Yeah, sadly.
Go you. Another way of participating when we're under stress.
Yes.
Yeah, so sorry to hear that, Jane, and take care because it can be pretty nasty if you get any complications. Or do you think you're through it?
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, that's good.
I just got it Friday night.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's really bad.
Oh.
So I really didn't want to traumatize anyone today.
Well,
isn't it great that we can do this online then, isn't it? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you been before, Jane, or is that the first
No,
time?
this is the first time. Yeah, first time.
So
So all my 3 kids had it. Yeah, it started from my 3 kids, and then it came on to me. So
yeah,
sort of unavoidable, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you think we're going, DG elect Vanita?
I think it's going really well. Yeah, thank you.
So Edith, I took you at your word and I set automatic closeout to 10 minutes. So the timer will start a minute beforehand. So I'm hoping that all works and that it just closes out automatically. So
Well, you've done the automatic. Let's just, what time is that to? Craig, what's on your clock?
Well, yeah, it was when we started. I didn't keep a track of that. I was so concerned about getting the buttons back. Right.
Yeah. So what we will have to do is just the lessons are time for feedback or feed in, but I'll check in with people when we come back in, because I think people will want to share. But I'm going to ask them if that's okay, because it'll be longer than going to the break. So I'll do 2 rooms. Give me a number, Ursula. Between 1 and 6.
3.
3. And DGE Vanita, give me a number.
5.
Okay, they're the 2 groups that'll report back this time, but I'll invite people to stay on for the longer time, knowing that we're just pushing it just a little bit, but I think we'll be okay for this one. We've made up a bit of time. Okay, I'm still getting emails from people say they haven't got the link. Oh, Ratu is not in the building because he's driving somewhere in Fiji.
Yeah, Kaushik, the president-elect for Suva, he's just come off the India flight.
Right.
And he's traveling to Suva, so he said he won't hear. So he's joined. I saw him joining, but there may be areas where he doesn't get connectivity.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Does he work on a Saturday? He's traveling on a Saturday. He does a lot of travel, doesn't he?
Well, he was in India. I don't know. It was a personal visit or.
Wow. He never told me that.
Yes. I just found out very late last night, about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, this is where these young ones need to say, I am there or I'm not there.
Yes.
Because once we know, we can put in other things in place, but certainly not on the day. So I'll have a one-on-one with him after this session, because this happened last time as well.
Yes.
And I'd rather that, you know, life is hugely busy with work and things, that we just make a call. And I'm happy with that call. Just so that everyone else knows. So, you know,
That's
when did I get that email?
Yeah.
I'll just check the time. Yeah. So that'll be a one-on-one from me with him. It's not life-threatening. And that's what I want to tell people. It's not life-threatening. You know, as long as we know, though, we can operate. We can operate in this space. You're looking particularly lovely today, Katrina. Not that you don't normally, but Kat, you are looking particularly lovely. And that I love that purple, and I'm loving those pink earrings.
Oh, thank you, Edith.
I'm going to get some when I finally get to Pango Pango on my own boat.
Oh, I hope so. Would love to get a visit. It's been such a long COVID period where we haven't had any people visit us.
Yeah,
probably so excited.
Yeah, the DG's coming. We might do it at another time. So that his bubble's not burst. But we will do it. We will do it.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Okay, cool. How's our minutes coming down, Mr. Right-hand man?
It's not showing me a countdown on minutes, but it's supposed to. We can just close the rooms if we're getting impatient.
Now we've got 20. 240, 250 we were meant to be back in.
Right.
To go to our break. But I'm going to just wait another couple of minutes. So it is at 250, and then offer up if we can go a bit longer for the report back from 2 groups. All right.
Right.
So that's 2 minutes. We're now 2:49.
Oh yeah, it does have a countdown. It has it on the bar. Right. There's 1 minute. So yep, it's 1 minute. Okay.
You've seen it now, Craig.
I'm sort of getting I'm getting all the tools.
You turn your camera off, turn your mute off, you just go and be who you have to be.
Thank
you. Who, me?
No, not you. You're my right hand man.
Ursula was waving goodbye. Right. Okay. Bye, Ursula.
See you, Ursula.
Thanks, guys.
That's how it has to be. We have to be flexible these days, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing we can't do together. Okay.
15-second call.
Okay.
10-second call.
Oh, let me get that screen.
3, 2, 1. They're all back.
Close now. Are they back in?
They're just coming back. It's still giving them time to wash up, evidently.
I think it's 1 minute. We give them
Yeah.
1 minute. I've set up 1 minute.
Here they come.
The rain stopped. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And we're going to poll after this, Craig.
Right.
Do the poll.
Yeah, I don't have polls back on my thing, so I don't know what's. Anyway, don't worry. You're running the poll.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's going to be able to be launched. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Everyone back in the room?
4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody's back.
Kia ora, thank you. Kia ora koutou katoa.
This meeting is being recorded.
Coming back in, can we all mute ourselves, please? Okay, I'm going to offer up an opportunity now, knowing that we are 2:51, and I am a stickler for time, and we should be in our break. 2 groups to offer up some feed-in from the panel discussion. I need a show of hands or a reaction to say, yes, we can do this now before we go to the break. So can I have an indication from people? Yes. Kia ora. Okay, I'd like to offer up group 3, your pearls of wisdom to share back with the group, just verbally. I'm not sure who is your recorder for group 3.
Hi, thanks. We didn't have any recorder, but Keith from President-elect of Auckland Airport had raised a question about, Keith, do you want to speak about that and what you got out of it? Are you on mute? Okay, here's Keith.
Oh, sorry, managed to find my cursor and hit mute. Yes, so I raised the question about the frequency of meetings that clubs were having and the types of meetings, basically because we want people to enjoy coming to the meetings, and they won't come if they don't get value from it. So there was some really good discussion from other members about how they make their meetings worthwhile and what they and how they seek to engage with people's priorities. So if coming together is a priority, people will be there. And so there are a couple of ideas around trying to both formal aspects and keeping meetings nice and brief, and also having some informal times, meeting in restaurants, socializing together as well, and celebrating occasions as part of that.
Thank you, Keith. Cool. Can I have some feed in? Is that all from your group, Jointy?
Yeah, we focus mainly on that too. So Keith, we answered his questions.
Thank you. Group 5. Can we have your spokesperson for group 5? I'm sure that's one of our Fiji clubs. In fact, I know it's one of our Fiji groups. Group 5. Anyone ready to report back there very quickly? Teresa, anyone from that's your group? Kahore?
I think Teresa.
Okay, let's go for group 2. Can fill that space. Group 2, which is David Bradshaw. I think Raj, you were stepping in for David.
Yes,
Your group?
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Some key messages from your group.
No, I mean, we had a very good discussion, and you know, with lots of ideas. We had Manu there filling us in terms of his question and answer session as well. But I think the main thing that we got, or that the PEs were discussing, was the listening to your members, and you know, the point that was discussed previously in terms of meeting frequency. I mean, things like that. I mean, if you listen to your members, listening to your community is the other one, in terms of projects, in terms of you know, the membership as well. So it's the membership and the community sort of work hand in hand. And I think that was the gist of the discussion that we had.
Thanks, Raj. Appreciate that. Okay, whānau, I'm going to launch a poll, which you should find coming up very shortly. Okay, that's create a poll. So right-hand person, have you got the polls that I created earlier in your space? Did that come up on your screen?
No, I don't have polls here, unfortunately. Where your polls that you demonstrated have disappeared.
They have. So we're going to not bother with the poll for this session because that's just how we roll. And we're going to let you go to a break. And guess what? We're going to find our polls once you come back. So we are 12:56. In fact, we have 3 minutes in advance where we were going to come back in at 3 o'clock. So I'm going to allow you to have 3:07 is when we're going to come back in for the next session. Go and hit stretch, walk away from your computers, and we'll see you then. 3:07, kia ora whānau.
Okay, Edith, I don't know what's happened to your polls.
Yes. Okay.
If you
Let me
scroll down, it should pop up. There's polls is one of the icons.
It dropped
on
off
the
when
lower
we
part of the
dropped
screen.
off.
Okay, so
You know when we all dropped off?
Yeah. If I go back in now, whānau, I'm going to have to drop out and come back in. I'm just trying to find my Zoom link because I don't want to cut anybody off like last time. All right, let me go to Zoom. Look, don't get a cup of tea, you people. Craig, I'm going to go into Zoom. Zoom account. Right. Settings. Here we go. Right, haven't even got polls in here. That's interesting. What I might do, if I go out and see if I can get back in, Craig.
Yeah. Hopefully, you just you can not leave in it for all. So just
leave meeting, not in meeting for all. Just leave meeting.
just leave meeting and then come back in.
Okay, let's go.
It's crazy, this stuff.
It was only an intermittent fault too, Craig, when we dropped off.
It just like on the breakout rooms menu, all the options disappeared for me, and then they've come back again. So
it was like a lightning. It was a lot of lightning strike around us.
Now I've lost the breakout. We've lost the breakout rooms, and you need to re-hear me as co-host.
Yep, hang on. I shouldn't have reassigned myself. Never mind. All right, view. Hillary. Craig. There we go. Yes. And polls haven't turned up on my space, so that's interesting. Oh, yes, they are. Here they are.
Oh,
Right.
you got polls. Wow.
I've got polls.
Right.
Okay. We'll launch that as soon as we come back in, whānau.
Right, and I've got breakout rooms all ready to go again, so that's good.
You are a star.
No,
And we've
I'm
got-
not a star.
And we've got Fidna eating. Is that yummy? It looks yummy. Okay, I'm just going to walk away from. I'm going to walk away from the computer.
Yep.
And go to a little room. Back soon.
Right. Okay. So Vanita, you still on for tomorrow morning?
Yes, I am. Most definitely. I'm lapping it all up, Craig.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what past district governors are here for. To
Thank
help.
you. Thank you. Had a good session with Alan Eyes. Good session with Peter Ross.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Okay. Well, and if you don't mind, if I'm emailing stuff to you, I'll include video.
Yes,
so
please.
that you can just keep on the same wavelength.
We're trying to do as many together as possible,
Yeah,
so that there is continuity, and we learn from each other.
I have one more year, one extra year to learn.
Yes, well, video it goes just as quickly. Doesn't matter whether you've got an extra year or not.
Great. We have had a few meetings together. It's really great.
Yeah.
What time is yours tomorrow?
9.
9. Yeah.
Where is it? I can join you.
Here at the Novotel.
Okay, I'll see you there.
Hmm.
Unless Craig says no.
No. This is I'm on the way out to the ROSOPS meeting, so it works in nicely. So and any opportunity that I can, because after this meeting, we'll send out a follow-up letter to the AGs and club presidents with all the links embedded in the letter, so that they can, because people, there's such a flood of email today that it just gets lost. Okay, I've got Teresa wanting to re-enter. That's good.
I've got you for 9:15 tomorrow, Craig.
I didn't actually check when you said that, so you caught me out there. Let me just have a look tomorrow. That's exactly right. So we're waiting for Edith.
307.
And
The rain has gone, finally. It's that beautiful smile I can see there. Kalera, is it? Beautiful. Okay, a couple of minutes, Fano, and then we'll get going at 3:07 on my computer. I hope you managed to walk away from the screen.
So Edith, for the next session, do I need to rename myself John Fothergill?
Yes, always. You can name yourself anything you want.
No, I think I might get a lawsuit if I mean, that would be defamation of character by renaming.
We're keeping it simple this afternoon, Craig, keeping it simple.
Right.
Okay, one more minute, Whānau, and then I'll hand it over to Erica. I'm going to do the poll first. Yeah, all back in, coming back in. Beautiful. Looking very dashing there, Mr. PJ Det, in your hat. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Kia ora, everyone. Thank you for coming back in, 3:07. We're going to kick off the next session. I'm now going to launch a poll because I found it. And that's what learning's all about. And so when we launch the poll, you'll see it come up on your screen. And if you just fill it in as quickly as you can, it tells me how many people have completed. And that will be in regards to the last panel discussion that we've had with our first time presidents. So let's go. Just click which one is most close to what you would answer. Cool. Okay, we've got 7 out of 39. Let's have a few more. 9, 10. Doing well, team. Oh, now we're pumping. 18, 20. Okay, thank you. So as you can see, did you gain any new strategies? Yes, lots. Some, not really. How does your club generally measure its community impact? Annual review, amount of money raised. It seems a fairly even spread around A, B, and C. What's motivated you the most? Or how motivated are you? Sorry. Beautiful. Love to see that high motivation there. And 1 or 2 neutrals. So that's an interesting. And our last one around A. Okay, I'm going to end poll. So are you sharing share results? I'm not sure that, oh yes. Can you see those results, Whānau?
Yep.
Paul?
Yes.
So here we are, just around those questions. I'm not sure why untitled has come through. So on the whole, you're all looking forward to your incoming year. Well done. Okay, I'm handing it over to you, Erica. Thank you. Next part of the session, Tips and Tools 101. Kia ora.
Hi everyone, Erica here from the Rotary Club of Suva East, and I have much pleasure in introducing Craig Horrocks, who's replacing John Fothergill's session today. He is the immediate past district governor for 2021 to 2022. He is the district representative of Zone 8 Regionalization Committee. He's the district trustee for ROSOPS Committee. He's also the district representative of the Insurance Committee, and a member of the Rotary Club of Auckland, and a fourth generation Rotarian. Handing over to Craig now.
Thank you, Erica. Right, I'm going to share screen and explain what we're going to try and get to today. Hang on. Right, okay. So the session in the agenda, the session is tools and tips and my Rotary. These are all things which can be a deep dive themselves. So what I'm going to do is just show you the resources briefly. I'm going to assure you that all of this will come out in a letter with hyperlinks so that you can jump straight to these individual resources after you have had this session, because really that's the purpose of it here. So look, the first thing that I want to cover today, and I'm hoping that this Zoom is actually changed focus and we can so you should have in front of you the district organization chart. Does everybody have that in front of them? Can someone let me know? Yep. Okay. So there's the thing with Rotary, which is one of the things that we're working very hard to resolve, but it's a long project, is we've got information all over the place. So please, first of all, for presidents-elect who are finding this a little difficult, where do I go? Who do I contact? It is all over the place, and we're working on pulling that together. But this group here, what I want to do was show you the district website, Club Runner website, which will give you some tips on how to actually get onto that if you haven't already done so. The district website has a whole lot of resources, including this page here, which shows you your district organization chart. And from here, you can go and contact that individual. You can see there in the middle, it's got the current year. And as part of this run-up that we've talked about, the district governor-elect needs to populate next year. So, for instance, if I click on next year, the page loads, but it's empty, and that's something that we will. Oh, sorry, that's the usual thing. Club Runners decided to log me out. Let me just yeah, I'll have to re-log into Club Runner. But the thing is that your offices for the district, including the presidents, will need to be set up, and that's something that Benita will get support to do over the next few weeks. And then we'll send you out a link saying, hey, all the district offices for next year are set out. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is how to get on and how to actually set up various accounts. So the thing is that there is a web page here, and I'm going to post that to chat. So you don't need to copy these if you don't want to, but I'm just while we're here. So this web page actually not only it's titled using Club Runner, but in fact actually down the bottom of the web page there is a section called Other Websites, and it has links to the 4 helpful videos, and you can just jump straight to those videos. As you'll see there, they're all, if you can read it, they're all Club Central videos, and Club Central is the part of the Rotary website, rotary.org, the mothership as I call it, where you as a president, your secretary, or other club members need to go to put in your annual goals and information at that level. So if I return back to the, and I don't know whether I may have to, so if I return back to the section of this agenda today, that first district how-to article and video, that first link takes you there and provides you with a useful summary and good starting point. So then in that, you've got your Club Runner login, which you should all have. If you don't have any logins or you don't know where to start, we have a new help desk system, which I'm going to show you at the end of this, so that just hang fire. But from here, if you don't have a Club Runner login, make sure you get on to getting that sorted. If you then don't have a Rotary, it's a separate login to Rotary International, you need to then get onto that, because all of these club administration functions that we're talking about are in that particular website. So what we will be doing is sending you the links to how to sign on and register and sign into the Rotary website. So I've now moved hang on, I've got people in the waiting room. Edith, if you could have a look at the waiting room while I'm doing this presentation. The key thing is you don't need to worry right away, because all these website links will be in the letter that we'll send out afterwards. But the key thing for you to write down is, if you don't have a rotary.org login, you've got to get one, because as a president, that you need to be able to go and use the resources there. And the key of those, the starting point for those resources is then the Learning Center, which we talked about earlier. And again, there's a video here which we'll put in the letter, which I'm not going to play any of the videos, but this video is actually from another Rotary district, 6490, but it actually is a nice little video of 3 minutes on how to get started with the Learning Center. Now, earlier we covered the Learning Center, and it's got club leadership. And there, when I was talking about it earlier, I said, make sure you look at president basics, and membership base. Get your team together, and your membership chair, your PR, public relations chair, etc. There's courses for all of them there. And it makes a huge difference just pulling your team together. And the longer time that you can give them to catch up and get that under the belt, the better, because the time goes very quickly. So we're going to then just jump back to the, sorry, so I've mentioned to you that Rotary International. Then there is the club runner actual part of the administration. And unfortunately, you need to actually get Club Central on the Rotary website under your belt, and also your club runner getting ready for changeover. As I showed you on the district website with the district offices, at the moment that's empty. It's the same for your club. And there's another video which we'll reference, which shows you how to get ready for changeover, put in your offices there, and by the way, then sync those with synchronize those with Rotary International. Club Central on Rotary International is where you actually report your club goals. If you get into Club Central and follow the video, have a look around, then you can, at your early changeover meeting, and you should be aiming to have a meeting of your incoming board sometime, it's recommended in April or May. And at that stage, you can say, hey, look, we're supposed to set out our program goals for the year. Here's what I have to enter up, and let's get those things done. So at this stage, I'm going to stop, because the key part of this exercise is to basically tell you that the resources are there. There's some things that you need to do, and we will provide you with a overview letter, which you can literally click on the hyperlinks, get a bit of that under your belt, and then hopefully get on with preparing your year. So what I'd like to do at this stage is ask any of you who have questions to put up your hand. And Erica, if you can keep an eye on that, and we can actually then take questions any questions in order, if there are any questions at this point. Has anybody got there? Does anyone not know on how to put your hand up? Because that's under
reactions.
Your reactions at the bottom.
Do you want to stop sharing, Craig?
Yes, I'll stop sharing at this point.
Thank you.
Right. So obviously we're in great shape. Do we have any questions?
We've got PGs in the room, immediate past district governors in the room. You can answer that question for Teresa. I'm sure.
I'll answer it for you,
Thank
Teresa.
You.
Presidents and officers of the club, nominated officers of the club, which is normally the club secretary, is able to load Club Runner and manage it ongoing from that for you. Once you've entered the details in Club Runner, it's important to allow Club Runner to integrate with My Rotary, so it makes life easier for you. There's some instructions, it's easy instructions to do. And so when you load into Club Runner, or vice versa, if it loads into My Rotary for you, it automatically uploads into your Club Runner, so you can keep track of all your members' details and keep them up to date. So even with presidents, and maybe presidents, it doesn't have to be just the secretary. It could be another club officer you nominate, as well as the webmaster or the Club Runner master, which makes the presidents and the club secretary's job a little bit easier.
If I can add there, sorry.
Sorry, Vanessa. Carry on.
Yeah, the treasurer is able to do that as well.
Correct. Sorry, I just had thunder and lightning. So does can you hear me, Vanita?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So
Did that answer your question, Teresa?
Thank you.
Okay.
Teresa,
Any issues?
when you search the club on Club Runner of Rotary of our district website, it shows the number next to each member, and the larger the number, the more options that person has. So if you find in your club that some people are on 20 and 30 and they need a higher level of access, you need to do a help desk to rotary.org to get it repaired.
Jackie, you have a question?
Yeah, I believe it's been answered, but I just reiterate, so that the letter you referred to will be very helpful. So thank you for that. And so when you enter in Club Runner, is there anything specifically that you have to do to link it up to My Rotary? And it sounds like you can have multiple people that can update it. Is that correct?
Jackie, do you want me to answer that? Yes, you can have multiple people run the synchronization feature. It's buried under some menus, but in terms of going into the manage part of Club Runner, if you and go into membership, it has a sub menu there for RI synchronization. It does quite often generate errors, and that is the key issue in terms of that piece of software is quite old, and so you may end up with errors, and at the end the best way to resolve those often is to email Rotary International.
And that leads me to my next comment. So that's a good segue. Just to all of us, if you haven't dealt with my Rotary and that help desk, they will help you. Just in our age of getting, immediate responses, just keep in mind that they're based in Chicago, Illinois, and the States. So there is a time lamp. So put your questions in and then allow for some time to get it through. Just from personal experience over the years when I've dealt with them. So they do help you, but just keep that in mind if you haven't before.
Thanks, Jackie. Great advice. Okay, we're on 3:28. Any other quick partai before we go into breakout groups?
I just I've posted to chat a URL which will be in the letter, which we now have our own help desk ticketing system in New Zealand and the Pacific. And if you go to that website, Rotary Oceania website, and click on help desk ticket, you can fill that in. That gets routed to teams which are growing, and they can deal with accounting, donations, and various other issues. So again, we will be sending this out after this meeting.
Thanks, Craig. That's new learning for me. Any other questions? Hands up or reaction before we get into breakouts? Helene, yes?
Thank you, Edith. In the past, Rotary districts used to produce a directory, and I know they don't produce those anymore. It was very costly. Through Club Runner, is it possible to download a PDF file with all the information that sort of creates a club directory, or are we limited? We seem to be limited to presidents. Maybe I'm not looking at the right spot.
Well, if I can answer that, in that organization page that I showed you in districts, so you've got to be logged into districts, number one. And if you go to the organization, that will give you all your district offices. And if you go into then clubs, you can expand it out and you can see all the offices of all the clubs. It's correct. The old published a directory has stopped, and while it has the Alan has, I think, did Alan, did you do, is Alan still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, there's been a PDF update, but essentially everything is moving to online platforms, and so that's why being able to find it at the right point. So, for instance, in Club Runner, and the new system that's being rolled out will have even more detail and flexibility. But the Club Runner is the tool that we're currently using, and for instance, you often find that there are documents that at a district level, but your first point of call for policy, for instance, documents, is to go to the Learning Centre. Because if you run, so for instance, RILA, if anybody is interested in understanding what RILA is about, there is a brand new RILA handbook that's just been released by Rotary International.
Okay, Craig, I'm just going to stop you there because this is the breakout time for people. As you can see, Whānau, lots of information. Go into your groups, ask these questions, post them on our Jamboard link that has been set up by Kat in the chat. Copy and paste any of those links, knowing that they'll be coming out soon. So can we assign people to breakouts? Thank you, Craig.
Done. Is there anybody I need to assign now?
Looks like you've got a few.
Right.
Raj, Teresa, Sarah Maya, who's Judy. You need to rename yourself, Sarah Maya.
Sarah Maya is in group 5.
So,
yeah, Teresa was in room 5.
5 with the PG
5, yep, 5.
Yep, done. Raj, where do you want me to put Raj?
Raj was in group, let me have a look. I think he was 2 with David Bradshaw. Yep.
Okay. Right. And
Rotary Fiji, let's put that person in 6.
which is you're right, Kalera.
I'm not sure who's our leader. Group
There's
6,
no one in
Jane.
6. There's no one in 6.
Okay, well then 5. 5, and put Jane in there as well.
Okay.
And Judy. He's not Judy, but Sarah Maya. You're looking beautiful as a Judy, mind you. I mean, I'm loving this.
Judy is good.
I feel a song coming on there. Judy,
Right.
Judy, Judy, do you love me?
So
5.
5.
5. Yeah, for Teresa. Actually, both of those 2, all of those are 5.
Yes.
Craig, I don't mind going into 5 just to help Teresa out if she's
That would be
overloaded.
great. Thank you, Alan. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Right. I've only got unassigned. I've only got 4. So
Jane.
Jane and Kalera both into 5.
Put into 5, both into 5. Thank you, Craig. Doing a great job.
She is. Oh, she needs to join. So she needs to click on breakout rooms and join.
Jane, you need to join.
Mine's saying to join room 3.
Join it.
Yeah, just join it. Go for it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Room 3 is beautiful.
Okay.
And Kalera, I'm not sure it should be in group. It's just into our room.
Well, she's down on room 5. She's just got to join it.
Kalera, just join the bottom of your screen.
Bottom of the screen, dear. Join. All great learning this afternoon. I'm loving it.
Yeah. She just needs to join. So Kalera, just go to breakout rooms and join and click on it and you can join.
Which is down the bottom of your Zoom account. It may have more. Beautiful. There we
Good
go.
job.
Well done, team. Is there someone in our room for Frank? That's Chris, is it? Is there someone else with him? Or is he handling that just superbly? Because I know Frank's fishing. He's still on the job.
With Chris Beattie.
Yes, who's with that?
So I jumped in there and everybody was there, so I jumped out. So are you so there's
is there another AG in there with him? Frank was.
No. So is Chris not on the call any longer?
Chris is. Frank isn't. Frank.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Did you want to jump in there, Kat?
Into room 1.
Room 2.
Oh,
room 1. Sorry, yeah, room 1 with Chris.
room 1. Yeah.
Yeah. Craig, are you able to assign me? It's not popping up on my screen.
Okay. I will assign you to room 1. And then just join. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Cool. Well done, Craig. Whew. Let them work out what they need, what they don't need. A little bit of what was it?
In the background, Edith, that letter, which I drafted in 2020. I will. Vanita is and I are meeting tomorrow. We'll update it and we'll get that out. We just need to perhaps have some input from Ingrid as to what we say about regionalisation, because previously that letter referenced redistricting. Obviously, we'll cut all that out.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know whether Ingrid's got an update for us today on timetable.
Hang on, I am here. I'm just doing some other work.
That's I expected that.
Which timetable are you talking about?
It just in terms. I know you were discussing that team was discussing timetable in terms of the interim.
Oh yeah, I have got an update on that today.
Okay, so we can pump that into the letter, and if there's any links or from the website that we need to get into that letter, Vanita and I will meet tomorrow. But are you going to the ROSOPS board meeting tomorrow?
Yeah, we've got an in-person board meeting tomorrow, and I'm giving the ROSOPS board an update on regionalisation as well.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And we're having a discussion about, where ROSOPS might fit and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm meeting with Vanita, and then I'm coming out to Jenny's.
Right. Yeah. I saw that on the agenda. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got to finish Simon Manning's board report for him tonight.
Oh, on IT, because you're just talking about insurance, aren't you? Or are you talking about Flectra as well?
I'm not sure.
Oh, actually, I think I did have the agenda. Have I got the agenda up still? No, I haven't. Actually, I think it is focused on. Where am I? Here's the agenda. I'll just tell you. You are going to talk on insurance and Flectra at 11 a.m.
Right.
From 11 till 12.
Right. Excellent.
And depart by 1. You're joining us for lunch and then you depart by 1.
Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Craig, on Club Runner, for next year's offices, it's not, the option's not open yet for me to populate.
You may not have the right permissions.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's what I was trying to. Yeah, I think I don't have the permission yet to
you
populate.
should be able, because I actually you should, because you're DGE on the website.
It doesn't give me an option to click it open, so there's no hyperlink there.
Okay. I'll just log back in.
Yes. Okay. Actually, this is a common corridor that people have impromptu with me around Club Runner, around permissions. So
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what comes back from our group, that they don't have permission or they can't do this, and etc. etc.
That's why I want them to be able to file tickets and with the new help desk, because we can then stream them and deal with them in a logical fashion, you know, with between Kirsten.
I think maybe an opportunity to come back out or to have another meeting on this, if that's what people are wanting. I'm just admitting Sue Eyes. She's back. She's coming in now. She hasn't been assigned to a group. She will be with Chris Betty, though, Betty, in the next breakout.
Oh, okay.
But not now, not now.
Not now. No, not now. Not now.
Not now. Kia ora, Sue, are you with us? Timer's up for the 10 minutes breakout. Do you want to close all breakout rooms? Really? No, I don't.
I'll leave that to you. I said it a bit earlier this time so that you had.
Okay, so am I keeping them open? Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Then you manually close it.
Hi, Sue, how are you?
Hello, how are you? Sorry, I tried to join before when I was in my car and it didn't work.
No, Paitena, it's the rain. We're going to blame it on the rain today. We're going to blame
absolutely.
On the rain.
Absolutely, yes. How's
They're
the
just
day
into
going?
breakout groups, so we're actually into breakout 3.
Right.
No, sorry, breakout 2 around Club Runner tools and tips.
Right.
As club president, the current president, and thank you for offering up yourself again for next year. I'm just wondering, are all your officers loaded in Club Runner?
No, because we're still working on that.
Okay.
But
So
it will be soon.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got a secretary and treasurer. They're the same as this year.
Okay.
We now have a nominating committee and we're working on it. So.
Okay, thank you. There'll be maybe some tips and things that'll come out, updated links from Craig and others that will be able to support that ongoing loading of your incoming team, particularly if there are any changes, and also access to being able to operate in that space. Rotary.org, are all your members currently linked into Rotary.org as well?
I know all bar one are linked into Club Runner, but I couldn't tell you about Rotary.org either. But
okay, so maybe that's a check you might like to do at your next meeting, because we're really pushing in this President-elect session around self-learning and access to the Learning Centre. And certainly they will need to have a Rotary.org login to be able to do that.
Sure.
Yeah. So
in fact, there are 3 that I know that aren't logged onto it.
Right.
Because I've been checking with our members that have joined in the last 2 years. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are different, but they do have to be synced. And that would be really useful because we're pushing or leaning people more and more into that self-learning space to work on this as part of their preparation for the upcoming year.
Sure. Edith, do you know, have you got a minute? How long before they come back?
I'm going to put them back in about a minute's time.
Oh, don't worry. I'll
ask me the question.
It's just about on the Learning Centre about someone being certified from the club for grants, and it's been going round and round in circles. And I've tried to do it. I tried to do it overseas. I've had a look here, and it's saying it's 3.5 hours of of modules to complete. Well, that looked to me like it was for global grants. We're just wanting district grant. So what I really need is the link to what it is we have to do for the district grants.
Okay, hold that thought. You do actually have to be certified for both.
Oh, okay.
So we would encourage people to their foundation chair or someone in the club to actually go on and complete that. And
someone must have done it, but I can't find who it was. Don't know.
Okay, the current chair, the immediate past district governor, Steve Cheney, we are going on a bit of a roadshow to offer that particular piece of information up to people, particularly when it's around district grants. It has to be in before the beginning of July 1st of the year. And so people miss that date. So yeah, so anything that you might need to know, drop an email to him. And we can follow that up perhaps.
Great, thanks Edith.
Yeah, okay, let's bring everyone back in. Craig, close all rooms.
Do you want me to do it?
Just done that, thank you. How was your room, Alan?
Good. Not as many in there as I thought there would be, but that was good.
Cool.
Teresa was going fine.
Excellent.
I'm not sure where Jane ended up, but that's all right.
She went to 2, I think.
They put me in group 3.
Oh, 3.
Yeah.
That'd be good, Jane. You can spread your gifts and talents around the district. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
You just got to answer my email, Jane?
Yes, very soon.
Evelyn, you have your hand up. Did you have a question before we go into report back?
Yes, in the panel, we have some question regarding the Club Runner, because we heard that we're moving to a new system. We would like to know when the new system will launch, and is there any training for the new system using? Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. And we have the shortened version of this, don't we, Past District Governor Craig?
Yes, we do. So the new system is launched and we're onboarding clubs in batches of 6. So anybody who wants to start the move from Club Runner, just contact us, and you can actually just file a help desk request. I'll just post that again into chat. So you can, if you follow that link, you can file a help desk form, and then you'll be brought into the onboarding team. We've got 18 clubs already underway, and we're learning a lot as we get everybody on board. So that's the process. I'll call it there and see if there's any further questions.
Craig, we're talking about the subscription. What is the difference between the Club Runner and yours? And obviously, Club Runner is not going to be insured, and this will be.
Okay, so the subscription model for your club under the new system includes unlimited. It's unlimited number of users, your club, and your club trust, and it includes all your accounting. So there's all the functions, event management, document management, website, everything is included. Plus, we are establishing 4 dedicated email addresses for each club. So president at, and that's all covered in documentation, which has gone out, but will go out again with the letter that will go out from District Governor-elect Benita after this presentation.
Can you give us a time frame when that will be fully operational, Craig, please, so that people aren't not going to do Club Runner?
Okay, so the process for moving over to the new site is will basically take on an opt-in basis between now and the end of next year. So as I said, we're getting expressions from clubs. We're interested. Then there are onboarding meetings. We tell you how to set it up because it's got automated billing. There's automated ability to pay members to pay not just membership dues but event tickets, lunch costs, dinner costs, etc. through the system. So the best thing is if you're interested, fill out a help desk ticket, and then Kirsten Hawke, who's leading that part of the program, will contact you. Chris.
Thanks, Craig. Chris, question from you.
Okay, some of our clubs couldn't afford Club Runner. I know that our club could not afford Club Runner. What's going to be in the pipeline for clubs that can't afford the subscription?
Yes, well, that's the whole point about this, Chris, is that between the costs of Xero and Club Runner plus Xero for your club trust, the costs were getting out of hand. This is a flat fee, and it doesn't matter how what parts of the system you use. So your club trust, and so it includes website, the Club Runner features, plus also your back office accounting, and also email for your club. And that
is there a cost? The cost.
Yes,
Craig.
there is. There's a schedule which will attach to the next thing, but the from memory, it is $45 per month.
Right.
All in. It's a bargain.
Thank you, Craig.
Harry, we have a question from you. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Craig. My question is as follows. How does that IT platform integrate with the regionalisation pilot that's going to be implemented?
Well, I'm involved with the regionalisation IT team. That's on a different planning cycle. We're probably, everybody tells us we're about 1 or 2 years ahead of what they're doing, but they're looking at what we're doing, and there is a lot of interest from across the Tasman. So that's really, I think, all I can say at this stage. It's probably better that Ingrid addresses that question when she has her session on regionalisation.
Thanks, Craig. Thanks, Gary. I'd like Group 5 to have any feedback from that session. Group 5, Teresa, that's your group. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
We have Darshini.
Hi. We've just been discussing that apart from the Club Runner, the other tools that the clubs have been using, after discussions, we realized that WhatsApp and Viber, as well as email, has been other tools that the club has been using to manage itself. But the members do feel that we do need a lot more information on what the Club Runner is offering. We do realize that it's easy once we get the basics right, but and a suggestion was that we need in our club an expert on the Club Runner. It's got wonderful tools, business tools that are available. One of the challenges that we realize is that not every club is able to pay for the subscription. It's not able to afford the subscriptions. So there are certain features that come at a cost. So this is something that the clubs themselves have to address. And if there's a possibility of some free services coming from the Club Runner. Here on Lambasa, speaking on behalf of the Lambasa Club, we do also need to familiarize ourselves a lot more with the Club Runner, its features and its tools. So for the incoming presidents, suggestion was that more sessions are needed on the Club Runner and the tools that it's offering. Yep.
So
If I
does
could
she
perhaps-
need,
if I could
Craig,
perhaps
if you
speak
could
to that,
answer that?
Edith, yes. If you're not integrated in the Club Runner at the moment, then put yourself through a help desk ticket and join the new system. Number one, it's cheaper. Number two, it's more complete. So for instance, in terms of communications options, there are a whole lot of new ways that the new system enables you to communicate, which can't be done on Club Runner. So put yourself in the queue. And we've got, for instance, the Rotary Club of Suva that are the process is what's called onboarding. So we have an initial meeting. We talk to you about how your club is set up and how we can help you. And then it breaks into 2 further meetings. So as I said, file a help desk ticket, get yourself in the queue. Don't bother about trying to learn technology that we're going to be replacing by the 30th of June next year.
Thanks, Craig. Thanks, Shini. We are 3:57 and we're going to go to a break now, and then coming back into the poll, which is on our tips and tools 101, that we will complete first, and then we're into our final session around regionalisation. So step away from your monitors, make yourselves a cup of tea, and come back in at, I'm going to say 3:06. Thank you, whānau. Haere aki nei. Good questions around that, Craig. Well done.
What I've done is I've left the help desk ticket form up so that when people come back in, they can see that, and they don't have to have a login or anything there. They can just, I'll just take my name out.
I was going to say, that's the link. It's the link that you've been sending through all afternoon, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
But
Okay.
that's the form.
That's what they go to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Sorry,
Okay.
Craig. Hi,
Craig.
Craig.
Could you add a link to the chat, please?
Yes, that's the link. That's the chat link.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Craig. Can you still hear us?
Yes.
It's Peter here. Thanks very much for the update. I mean, we share all, I mean, everyone was asking the questions that I was going to ask. But it's going to be an issue for some clubs. Is this going to be something that every club is going to have to be on if we're going to be able to function properly?
Interesting question, Peter. I think, let me answer it this way. It's an opt-in project for us. Whether with regionalisation, there is as we move to being much more integrated at a regionalised level, it moves from being opt-in to required. I don't know, but the key thing for us is it's an opt-in process, and what we're discovering is that small clubs, we've got some very small clubs that have started the process, and they're reducing their administration and they're improving the use of their Rotarian volunteer time to do the 2 things that we know generate good membership, and that's fellowship and projects. There's a whole project management system built in, and if it's got tasking so that you can allocate a task to someone and then follow it up. So there's a whole lot of new communication capabilities. And what we would say, Peter, to someone like yourself, is encourage your club to come to an initial onboarding session, and then your club can say, well, okay, that's what we want to do, or we'll defer it or whatever. But as I said, we've got some very small clubs who have come on and said, great, okay, we're because it automates membership fee billing, it automates billing for costs such as meals at lunches or dinners.
And does it allow a proper accounting so we can distinguish accounts across projects and across different categories and everything? Because that's critical. I mean, I set up a spreadsheet for doing the accounting. I mean, it works quite well, but it's an Excel for sort of showing money that comes in as external donations, how it's linked to a project, which goes into the general fund. We also have a project tracker, but it takes a bit of effort getting people to keep it up to date. And of course, there's no help desk behind it other than me. But it lets us keep our history, and the loss of history is always a critical thing. So something that can keep history and can have a good help desk would be good. I assume it's multi-currency.
Yes.
And we'll work with other systems. That's good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds good. I'll definitely try and encourage Nicola to get onto it, because we've been looking at how to maintain our databases, and something that's set up properly would be a good idea. Yeah.
Well, if you see here, there is on the help desk ticket, there's a drop down, registration of interest is the last item. Just register your club's interest. Kirsten Hawke, who's the operations manager for Rotary Oceania, will set up an onboarding call, and we can then discuss, okay, what are you trying to achieve? How is that going to be achieved by your club members, etc.?
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely a good accounting package and a good project tracker, which is, none of it is sort of high science. I mean, it's been as many times before. Would be fantastic. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we've got 5 help desk teams, and we're slowly building them out. And for instance, you mentioned donations. One of the help desk issues is donations, and that goes to the donations team. So we can actually, we're trying to improve our understanding and governance, and we can talk to you about that. But it's best done at a club level, that's starting from the grassroots. That's where everything counts.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. I'm glad that we're finally moving, because when I first joined Rotary this time round and saw the horrendous lack of connectivity and linkage in between different systems, it was pretty horrifying. So 5-10 years ago, it's good to see we're making some progress.
It's been a lot of work. There's been 3 years work behind the scene to get this up and running, and we're having a lot of fun with the clubs that we're onboarding now. So we're really keen to see clubs put their hand up and say, okay, when we're interested, and then we get that process started.
Okay, well, that sounds good. I shall encourage them. Okay, great.
Peter, I noticed Ruth had registered, but she's not on this call.
No,
so
I know.
we need to actually, you're going to need to follow up with Tara and just find out where or what the solution going forward is for them.
Yes.
Because she can't sustain being in their placeholder position really for any longer.
4 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a really good online session a month or 2 ago, when she got quite a large bunch of people, including some online, together sort of to re-establish, because I think she's lost a lot of members over the gap. And I joined in that session and gave a bit of a chat.
Okay, well, I think we need to probably bring it up to district level now, with yourself, Benita, and anyone else that, that you think would be useful in the room, like myself and things. Just so that this isn't a step too far for people, that we are there to support them, but they do need to step into the space.
Yeah, well, I've almost given up trying to get her data on Club Runner. No,
Club Runner's fine. She can access Club Runner. There's not an issue around
but
that.
Is it up to date? Is she updating?
Yeah. I don't know if she's updating. That's the conversation that you'll need to have, but the Club Runner tool is not the issue. We've already, set her up with that last year, actually. So there's never been that issue. It's just around this next succession planning for that club and getting people from that club in the space.
Yeah.
for the next iteration.
No,
So
I
no, there's no
agree.
toll issue. It's
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Because I mean, she's committed to an awful lot of other things. I mean,
absolutely. She is just the girl about town at the moment. She's yeah.
Yeah.
She's
But
in
she
New
needs to
York
talk
as
to us. She
Yeah, I
needs to
know.
talk to us so that we know where
Yeah.
we need to help and what we need to do, and not leave it until July 1 next year. So
Yeah.
I think if you can have that conversation, and we're open
Yeah.
for that conversation with you.
I'll follow up with her. Probably best
It's really critical. It is beyond
I
critical
agree.
now, really.
Yes, I know. I've been trying to encourage her. We'll let
And I
her
know
know.
DGR will probably do that when he's over there visiting that beautiful part of the Pacific.
When are you
Peter, she's
going?
in New York at the moment.
Yes, I gathered so from something on Facebook.
Yeah, so I was surprised that she even registered for this. I'm talking to her every second or third week, but she's overwhelmed, to tell you the truth. She takes too much on, and without succession, so we'll have to work on that.
Yes, no, I mean, yeah. How long before a club actually has to be dropped off by district to get lax members and stuff?
Oh, that's $100 question, Peter. Depends on some smaller clubs. Activity is huge and they manage themselves extremely well. Where other clubs we've had to say, we need to change the structure here. We either build something around you, or we start again, or we terminate.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, she had a number of people who were quite interested at that session we had. I think it was.
Yeah, we just need to keep in touch, and we need to keep communicating. That's the key. Yeah.
Yes, I quite agree. Quite agree. Great. It was wonderful having that side chat. Thank you.
Okay, 4:07. I think people are back in the room. Can you stop sharing for a minute, Craig, so I can see everyone back in the space? Thank you very much. I'm not sure who that rustling is. Is that you, Craig Horrocks? Sounds like someone's eating chocolate. And I want some. Kia ora te whānau, e whai aki nei. Welcome back into the session, into the regionalisation session. That's a really hard double sort of part to say there. And I am drinking water. There's only water in that glass. I'm going to launch now into our poll around our 101 tips and tools. If you can complete that, and then I will share our results and then hand over the introduction to regionalisation to Kat. Kia ora everyone, coming up on your screen now. Cool. Okay, we've got 18 out of 40 whānau. Let's get some more responses. Not even a third in. 57%. Let's aim for 80%. We're now at 60. $62. $65. Come on, AGs, you can do this too. Okay, I'm going to end poll now. Share results. Okay, here we go. So, Club Runner is the winner. Okay, team leadership, time commitments, project and fundraising. So we're seeing all of the above is pretty much where we're sitting as our biggest challenges, whānau. Okay, resounding success. Even though we have all those challenges, we are excited. Cool. Okay, we're into the final stretch. Well done. Well done, everyone. I'm going to now hand over to Kat for our session on regionalisation. Kia ora, Kat.
Kia ora, Edith. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. I'm Katrina from the Rotary Club of Pango Pango. I have the honor of introducing Ingrid Wall. She'll be presenting today on zone regionalization. And Ingrid is our past district governor, 2018 to 2019. She is also Zone 8 co-chair of Regionalization Committee, and she is the District Rotary Leadership Institute chair. Ingrid is also the New Zealand SPPDS and L&D chair, completed her term this year. She is also the district trustee representative of ROSOPS committee, and she is also a member of Rotary Club of Parnell. Please join me in welcoming Ingrid for our Zone 8 regionalization presentation, everybody.
Thank
Over
you,
to you,
Kat.
Ingrid.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you for that very nice introduction. Kia ora, everybody. Bula. Very nice to see so many familiar faces on the screen. So Edith, please, can you hold me to, I will hold myself to time, but don't be afraid to jump in if need be, because I can get a bit passionate about this. So it's something that has consumed my life to a large extent for the last 3 years. So I'm actually going to start by thanking all of you who participated in the club vote that has enabled us to move forward with regionalisation as a project. You know, that was, I'm not sure that you're all aware that 90% of clubs across our zone actually voted yes to proceed with change. That was an awesome result. 96% of clubs voted. So that was absolutely amazing. I am here. Oh, the host has stopped my video. So I'm going to share with you this afternoon a presentation. It was one that I shared with the governors and governors-elect nominee in Canberra when they were all there for their training. I was also one of the trainers for the incoming governors. So it is going to introduce to you some thinking about where we're going next with regionalisation. And what I particularly want to reiterate before I start is that you all voted for a pilot. It is a pilot. So I'm going to present you with some thinking. But you might recall as well that one of the core phrases that were used in our club presentations that we want to explore, develop and test some new ways of working for our region. And that is what we're doing. So when you see these things and it's going to be new, I ask you to look at it critically. It is not set in stone. It's the saying we use is it set in clay, because anything made out of clay can be molded before it is finally fired in its final form. So that's what we'll do. So I will kick off now with sharing my screen. Right, I hope everybody can see that. As I said, you're probably aware that there have been several milestones that we've actually passed through. I'll go into those in a little bit more detail. And I will also say now that there is one more really important milestone that we have to achieve, and that is the acceptance by the Rotary International Board of the budget for how much we think the pilot is actually going to cost, because we are asking them for money to support this regionalisation pilot. So they haven't seen any of those numbers yet. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of work to be done to create that. All good change projects start with why. And when we started this project at the beginning of 2019, we developed an overall purpose and a number of objectives, and those haven't changed. There's been a lot of work done to flesh out the thinking that sits behind it, to develop detailed objectives, and to involve a large number of people. I think it's close to 100 volunteers are working in different ways on regionalisation in the different working groups. And as many people have said, the real work is now beginning. So what we're aiming to do is to establish a regional governance structure that will help us transform Rotary and Rotaract so that we can better support clubs to provide the kinds of relevant and engaging experiences that members want, and that also enable our clubs to better serve their communities and help us grow. I've heard that talked about a lot today already. So we want to turn the thinking now into actions that can be implemented and tested to create a stronger Rotary for our zone, and operating in ways that work for us. So we are one of only 2 pilots in the Rotary world. We're a small part of the Rotary world, but nevertheless, many people are watching what we are doing because they're very interested to see how we proceed and what outcomes we're able to deliver from it. So what might success look like for our pilot? So these are just some examples of the objectives that we've developed. So giving us, giving clubs local responsibility for how we operate and adapt to meet what our members are looking for. Creating efficiencies. So Craig, you've talked about Flectra. That could be one option. It's not the only way, but it could be one way. And we think there are many opportunities to reduce duplication. We also want to make leadership roles more doable and more attractive. And clubs, and I'll keep reiterating this message, that clubs are at the heart of the thinking. So enabling clubs to directly access the best resources to support them. One of the resounding things that came through from the feedback we've had has been this concept of one voice. I was talking to a friend in the weekend who isn't a Rotarian and telling her about GCAF and the Fiji Oxygen Project. And she said, why don't we know about any of this stuff? So we think there are opportunities through regionalisation to get resources in there, of all kinds of resources, to get our voice out there and grow better partnerships. So there's some practical things as well that I want to share with you. Oh, one thing I will mention, sorry, is going back to, going back to these success factors. We are establishing a monitoring and evaluation team, which will develop detailed performance indicators and assess how well we're achieving them. And they will then develop a plan which will articulate those and set some timelines and measure them in terms of quantity, quality, time, and so on. We are looking for representatives from New Zealand and the Pacific Islands to be on that monitoring and evaluation team. It will be separate from the regionalisation planning group and from the implementation task force. So if you have a background in monitoring and evaluation, it's a particularly skilled area, monitoring and evaluating projects. I am very interested to hear from you, so just contact me directly. So let's have a look at some timelines. And this is on the website. So this gives you a bit of the previous timelines where we've spoken to the RI board probably about 3 or 4 times. An important timeline milestone was having a workshop with governors in Canberra in October. We have to complete our cost analysis for the RI board by the middle of December because it has to be presented to the board in January. And it may well be, we don't know yet whether that will be an actual presentation or just a paper. So the key things that you will be interested in, I suspect, are January to December 2023, that's the next calendar year. The implementation task force will be establishing startup activities. I'll show you more detail on that in a minute. And the 7 odd working groups that we have will also be identifying some quick wins that they can achieve. As we move towards the end of next calendar year, we will be looking at the nomination, selection and election process for leaders for the new regional council. The proposed regional council, the one that we're going to test first up, and community leader roles will begin from 1 January 2024. So basically, from now until the end of 2023 is a development, setting things up so that we're ready to test them as of 1 January 2024. There'll also be some specialist support teams in place. It's what we're calling partial regionalisation. Not everything will happen at that time. We'll test it for a year, and then from 2025 to 26, we will, based on that testing for that year, put in place a full regional council with all the functions being managed at a regional level, and really determine then how it's working and whether it's delivering the results. And then we are anticipating that clubs and members will have a role in deciding whether we continue with the model that we've been piloting, or there needs to be something different. It's important to note as well that districts and district governors continue right throughout this period. They will remain in place in a very important advisory and support role. They will still be Rotary International's official members on the ground. But you'll see changes in the way that perhaps some of the things they're doing, hopefully we'll be able to reduce some of the administration for them, and but they'll continue to connect. But there'll be many opportunities for you as members and as clubs to also have your say. This is a more detailed timeline, and it is on the website, so I don't expect you to memorize it all here, but it basically gives us a breakdown of what happens when. It is a draft, and we anticipate that it will change as we progress, but it gives us a roadmap for the next period of time. So you can see there are 6 stages. The next stage 2 really is starting now and moving through until the middle of really the end of 2023. Stage 4 is partial regionalisation. Stage 5 and 6 are full regionalisation. So don't feel you need to memorize it, but this is available through the regionalisation website. You can see that there'll be a lot of things that are needing to be done during 2023. And during this time, we will be keeping you informed, seeking your thoughts, and testing and adapting as we go. To help us with that, we've established an implementation task force that's chaired by past District Governor Tim Moore from Australia, who is also a past Rotary coordinator. So he has experience both at his own level previously, as well as having been a governor. That implementation task force has currently around 20 people. That has 7 subcommittees as part of it, and it is a skills-based task force. There are still opportunities for people who are interested to put forward their name and a CV to say, I'd like to participate. You'll see on this slide the key areas that they are focusing on. Obviously, the cost estimates is consuming a lot of time at the moment. And we have some highly skilled people with a financial background who are working on those together with our staff from the Sydney office of Rotary International, who we are working very closely with and they're providing us with a lot of guidance. So we'll be looking at the nomination, selection and training for the regional council members, piloting community leader roles, looking at groupings and how clubs might be grouped. They'll be looking at training, support structures for that first year when we've got the pilot in place, looking at technology and communication. So communication is obviously going to be vitally important during this period of time. This next slide shows you how the different groups fit together. So the regionalisation core team, which Peter Frew from Melbourne and I chair, and the regionalisation planning team have been in place since 2019. The planning team has representatives on it of all of the governor years since 2019 and looking forward. And it includes one from New Zealand Pacific and one from Australia on the, as representatives on that group. In the middle, you'll see the implementation task force sits in the middle, and around the outside are our existing working groups, each of which also has been in place for quite some time. Some of the composition of some of them has changed a bit, and they each have a co-chairs from New Zealand and Pacific and Australia. And then governors, current and future, are very much on supporting, advising and working closely with us. So I'm going to share with you the thinking that's been done to date around a possible regional structure. As I said before, this is a proposed starting point. We've got to start somewhere. There's been a lot of work done by an organizational design working group to come up with these ideas. And particularly, we'll be looking at exploring, testing and developing new ways of working so that we can better support clubs to help achieve their goals, spend more time on service and be more attractive to members. We also want to encourage more collaboration, create motivating opportunities for leadership, be more inclusive in our selection processes. So, you know, traditionally it's often been just tapping somebody on the shoulder. This will open up opportunities for many, many, many more people to put their name forward for leadership roles. And we want to be a whole lot more efficient, particularly through technology and reducing duplication. Now, you might remember this model from, from the club presentation. And it was shows that members, clubs, projects and their programs are right at the heart of the thinking. So the model consists of a regional council, Rotary communities, which clubs will be a part of, and Rotary specialists who will be selected for their expertise in key areas of Rotary. It is not designed to be hierarchical. It's designed to bring people together, to work together more collaboratively and provide better access to expertise. And to have impact. I mean, it's all about impact. So clubs are designed to have the communities of clubs. The thinking is that they will be based on affinity. By that, it means, what is it that they have in common? Now, it could be geography. It could be, for example, Central Auckland clubs. It could be certain clubs, Fiji clubs, it may be. But it could also be that you have a particular focus on a cause, a Rotary cause or an area of interest, and you may be able to find other clubs and you group together as a community of clubs based on that kind of affinity. It could be language. There's no fixed idea about how those communities work. The idea is that communities, and we'll be working out this process through next year to test how will we, you know, how can clubs create those communities of interest, and then what's the best way to select their community leader from those clubs. So the clubs will choose their Rotary community leader, whose term will be for 2 years, from the clubs that they are part of. We think, you know, this is one of those areas that will probably morph and change and flex a bit as we test it out. But the idea behind it is that we should be able to get much better impact by, you know, working together with people who have something in common, get our public image out there in a different way. So this Rotary community leader role is really designed to ensure that the impact of those clubs is greater than just the sum of their parts. It's a motivational, inspirational role, not an administrative one. It's not a hierarchical role, it's a partnership model. And so the community leader would work in partnership with the community leader elect. The thinking is that both are 2-year terms, and they will work closely with their club members and club presidents. So it's not there are no staff or committees or anything, it's providing support. And then the community leader might become known, for example, it might be a Rotary community leader, Central Auckland, or Rotary community leader, E-clubs, or Rotary community leader, water projects. So that's the kind of thinking behind it. The concept of community is it's about collaboration, having a common goal and identity. And the lead, it's very much a leadership role. It is not a hierarchy, getting away from the more traditional hierarchical corporate type of model that we've traditionally had. I mean, Rotary structure hasn't changed for 100 years. So it's really time that we looked at doing something that is more modern and relevant. Now I'm going to show you what the proposed regional council structure could look like. So it will report to Rotary International. The director is not part, so we currently have a director from Australia. The director is not part of that, of the council. They will sit as a separate role and continue to be, this is what we think at this stage anyway, and continue to be elected as they are at the moment. The core members of the regional council would be the Rotary Council Chair-elect, 6 portfolios that I'll show you in a minute what the thinking is. Again, not set in stone, but we've got to start somewhere to test it out. A Rotary nominee sitting on the regional council, and a Rotary Communities nominee sitting on that council. So that would be a nominee from the Rotary community leaders. The corporate and administrative, those are all designed to be elected, nominated and elected positions. The corporate and administrative support is designed to actually be skills-based. So it wouldn't be elected, but people could put their name forward based on their skill set. And then the Rotary International Office in Sydney will continue to provide support as they do now. So those would be the, if you like, the core members of the council. But the thinking again is that the supporting the portfolio chairs will be each will have a committee that will help them deliver into their, for the region. And they will also connect with the Rotary Specialists Network, which are people who have been selected because they have particular skill sets. So the thinking is that roles will be applications, people will make application, there'll be a way in which nominations will be collated and reviewed, and obviously people need to be verified that they are Rotarians or Rotaractors. There would become a list of candidates for election, and then those elected positions would be, the candidates would be put forward for people to elect. We haven't yet determined how that actual election process will work. And similarly, a similar process would work for selected positions. The thinking is that the selection committee will be separate from quite independent of the regional council. And it wouldn't be the regionalisation planning group either. So that committee.
2 minutes, Ingrid, 2 minutes.
Thank you. I'm nearly there. Thank you. I just want to highlight too here that support the Rotary, the Regional Council Chair-elect has a number of responsibilities: regional planning, connecting in with country representatives. So the thinking is that there will be country representatives from every country in our region. We have 16, and that they would form an advisory committee, which, and the Rotary, the Regional Council Chair-elect would be there to represent their views at the council. There will also be liaison with those bodies that already exist. And I think those are the key things I need to cover off there. This is the current thinking about the 6 portfolio chairs. So strategic growth and reach and impact and programs. So it's Rotary programs, partnerships, membership obviously has to be one, leadership and development and events. So that's linking leadership and development with things like conferences, fundraising and grants, which will include the Rotary Foundation, and diversity, equity and inclusion would sit as one of the portfolio chairs. So, oops, sorry, back up. So what do we think this regional council could deliver? Well, it's leadership and governance, so that's their focus and on oversight rather than doing, to improve consistency and predictability in our delivery of Rotary programs and services. Also having a regional focus. So regardless of where the person comes from, their focus is the region, not where they come from. And any actions need to be taken in the interests of the whole of the region. Obviously, it needs to be diverse in representation, so it will be open to anybody. There won't be, we don't believe at this stage there will be any prerequisites other than you need to be a Rotarian or Rotaractor of good standing. Obviously want to embrace risk and innovation. We're trying new things, and we're particularly focusing on supporting clubs through a bottom-up approach to shape the future for our region. And we are prioritizing how we engage with clubs. So clubs will have an opportunity, and members will have an opportunity to have input. Lastly, the specialist network. So these are people who have particular skills and will need to be accredited in their areas. Some of them might need professional qualifications, not as much of an administrator. It's not like a Rotary Foundation cadre. It is a specialist who has an interest and expertise to be able to support clubs. And there'll be a database of those people so that clubs will be able to access them. And again, a lot of work to get that up and running. But the idea behind it is to focus on collaboration and giving people access to knowledge, to be able to transfer knowledge and build connections. So that is, lastly, next steps. So we present to the RI board in January. We'll be letting you know regularly what's going on, and presidents and secretaries are going to be the main channel that we plan to communicate with. So you have a very important role in sharing information with your club members. We will, of course, be available to add to that. You can get involved, you can volunteer, you can have your say, share your ideas. And just to reiterate that we will still be selecting governors for 2020. Let me get this right because I can't, it's hidden. 2025-26, because we will still be in the pilot. But anyone putting their name forward will need to be aware that the role is likely to change quite a bit for that period. And you can keep up to date at any time through the website, creatingtomorrowrotary.org. So I am going to stop sharing there and hand back to you, Kat, or to, in terms of where we go next. I see Gary has his hand up. Do we have time for questions?
I'm just going to hold that question, Gary. Kat, we're just going to go back to you to thank, and then we'll roll with the next iteration into breakout groups. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Edith. Thank you so much, Ingrid, for that awesome and informative presentation. I think a key take back for me is that regionalization aims to explore development and test new ways of working in our region, and also provide opportunities to get access to resources and grow better partnerships. So that's really exciting. I'm also like very keen to see it grow. With that, we'll just move on to our regionalization discussion, and each group is to identify and discuss any specific questions you would like taken back to the regionalization team. So with that, any questions you have, Ingrid will be able to answer. So we'll just go into our groups now. Thank you.
Thanks, Kat.
Right, I'll leave the room and let you guys run your session. I just wanted to make sure it was all working. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. No, recording can go off.
We can stop recording.
Stop recording. Can we put Sue